Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner and I'm here with Sean Bell.
Yo.
Matt Murray.
Hi there.
And James Farley.
Hello.
Hello.
Bringing the energy.
Fantastic week this week. Ladies and gentlemen, James Farley put in his holiday request, which we're currently mulling over.
I think, should we discuss it on the pod?
No, let's not. Let's not.
Not certain aspects of it, but we can mention that he's fucking off for a month.
A month. Yeah.
His regular month's holiday.
Just a month off over summer. Like he lives in Norway or something.
Yeah.
Just take summer off.
Okay. I should say, James, as well, is that you sent that. It was a long, heartfelt message. You sent it and no one replied, and that's because none of us talked about it. So we haven't even
I
really
saw it and I
spoken
I just had other things going on.
See,
but, we will.
you see, in my mind, because obviously when that sort of thing happens and you get no response, I'm just thinking, okay, the other group chat's busy. Like at the moment.
No. Literally just tumbleweed.
I think I sent a message, just for full disclosure, James. I think I sent another message on the other WhatsApp group called Naughty James, which was set up because you were cheating.
Not cheating, but
yeah, you were. You were cheating at what was it in the quizzing? That was when that was originally set up.
It's weird, isn't it? Because it sounds weird and nasty that like we have groups without one of us in. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a group with no David, there's a group with no Matt, there's a group with no James, and that sounds really sinister. But they all got made organically for one reason or another.
There's also a group with no Sean. There's also also a group with no Sean.
An iMessage group, yeah.
So it's probably on fucking iMessage, isn't it?
To be fair, it is on iMessage. And to be fair, Sean, that was just the original group that the three of us had set up before we even started.
That's what I mean. Like they're all because it looks really sinister. Whereas actually, the Naughty James one was because he was cheating at the quiz. The Matt one was because the three of us wanted to trade turnips, didn't we? But Matt was falling to going on the forums.
I thought they all set up from the various E3s. Oh, okay.
No, I don't think so. No. And then the one with no Dave was just because he was off the show for.
Because he's a
Matt, no, it was because Matt, you were going, oh no, you could get turnips from here, and we were like, we don't want to play it that way, so we made up our own group between.
Well, just because I was giving you exceptional value on turnips, I get lambasted.
But full disclosure, I sent a message on last night, was it, on that group about your message, James, and everyone was like, I don't really know yet. We'll talk about it later. And that was that. So
it was not replying, was us all just going like, oh, this sounds like a difficult conversation.
We'll do another time.
That none of us want to have.
Do we let him go? Yeah, similar.
We like to start the show as we usually start the show by mentioning our Patreon producers for this month. They are. Oh, Matt, do you want to do it this month? We were going to rotate it, weren't we?
Yeah, why not? Alan Patrick, the QuickBooks chap. Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights for Human Rights. Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Smooth Monkey, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higdon, Tom S.
It's hard.
Once again. Stan, Philip with an F, Cutty, Steve Lee, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Man, Jack Oven, Grey Dragon Claw, Colin the Carwanker Smith, Lee Keybottom, My Dog Skip, Dean, and Steve the Nuke Littler.
They went full Nels, and thank you so much for your support. We really do appreciate you. Keep us going. Patreon.com/TCGS if you want to join the full Nels crew. If you cannot stretch to that, then there are other tiers there. We got all sorts of tiers, mate. We got a podcast tier, we got a video tier, we got all sorts. If you love the bonus show and you listen to the bonus show every month and enjoy it, why not knock your tier up one, and then you get to watch the bonus show on YouTube. We don't mention that enough, but there's a visual version of the bonus show that you can watch.
See all sorts on there.
Yeah, so it's all laughing at the book that Sean read out last month. There has also been something we've released from our Patreon vault, haven't we, this week, Matt?
Yes, well, I guess to celebrate the new GTA 6 trailer, I I thought, why not release one of our GTA heist videos? Mostly because it's got an incredibly good ending, and I was like, I think more people should see it. So yeah, it's on YouTube. Anyone can watch it. There's no Patreon restriction, and yeah, it's I think it's called like GTA Heist Part 2. We streamed a bunch for Patreon, and yeah, it's one of the favourite things we've done, actually, honestly.
It was very funny.
In terms of laughter on it, I watched bits just because I thought I'd rewatch it, and after that, I was like, I think we should release this. It's just so bloody stupid.
Because I'd forgotten like how far we got with the heist. Because I remember didn't we have one session where we were having connectivity issues, and because the checkpointing is fucking abysmal, it was like really messing us up. And I think in my head I was like, oh yeah, I think we just sort of abandoned that. But no, the one you've put up is fucking hilarious. Like,
that was the one where, it's not to spoil it, but Matt and I have a massive standoff at the end of a mission that you have to watch. But, but don't just go to that bit, because there's also a brilliant bit with, I believe, a plane and a runway.
Yeah, I mean, it's the build-up. I think that what makes it end so good is the time before that when we're failing and like fucking up and blaming each other, and that's why the pressure was on.
Last bit, you need to realise like how much pressure we're under.
The stress of it. I was like, we cannot fuck this, and great stuff.
But patreon.com/TCGS if you want more content like that. And you help us podcast, because we need your help.
Can I add one more thing? Something we haven't asked for probably years, but can we, if you haven't already, can you leave us a review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify? Like many years ago, every time I was like, yeah, leave an iTunes review, but we haven't asked, and people don't do it. But if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or iTunes, whatever you're using, please leave a review. 5 stars is probably what I recommend. It really does help. It really does help in terms of visibility and reach and stuff. So
plus there's a couple of really fucking nasty ones that just need burying.
Yes, that's right.
If you haven't already, and obviously we've had like a fair few more listeners since we probably last asked years ago. So if you haven't already and you like the show, and we'd really appreciate if you could, because that is huge for us in terms of getting the word out there.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Now, enough of all that plugging. We've had 7 solid minutes of it. Let's get to the feedback from last week's show. They all love it, did they?
Yes and no. Hideo Kojima lad, or Kojima lad. Konnichiwa lads, this is Hideo Kojima. A little embarrassed to bring this up, but we are missing some office stationery since Mr. Farley's visit to Kojima Studios. If you could check his satchel for a limited edition Sam Porter Bridges bobblehead ballpoint pen amateur ASAP. This may have happened while James excitedly suggested titles for a new action espionage thriller currently under wraps. GameCan appears to already be taken while Hideo and Seek is a complete non-starter. Although we appreciate the input. Returning to the misplaced writing implement, can we completely understand if this item accidentally dropped into his possession and no further questions will be asked upon its swift return? Mushy, and keep up the great work, lads. Your biggest fan, Hideo.
That really tickled me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's understand. It was completely accidental. I don't know how it ended up there. Yeah, it's but the thing is, I mean, returning it is going to be a bit difficult, because it's
not really on them though, is it?
No, I know, but
it's your problem to solve.
I know, but it's quite cool as well, So I don't know why I'd want to send it back.
Maybe it's like just pre-ordering Death Stranding 2 would probably be enough.
You're not the best at improv, are you, James? I would love to see James Farley at an improv class. I'd love to see him just do one session. Because you start a bit, and then by word 2, you've sort of lost all faith in it. And then you sort of wind it down.
Instead of yes and, it's just James going like, no, I'm not going to do that.
No and.
We watched The American Office the other night where... Michael Scott goes to his improv class, and it's just so funny because he just keeps getting guns out.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what the scene is or whatever, he just keeps getting a gun out.
It always ends up with him like pulling it out and just threatening people.
They said no more guns. And he whispers something to one of the actors, and the director goes, what did he just say? He says, I've got a gun, but I cannot show it to you. So stupid. Anyway, sorry, I'm just saying things from the office now. Shall we?
Just Shields. Evening blokes, with regards to using portables on transport in episode 450, back in 2006, when portable gaming was very much still for gamers, I was sitting at my local bus home from uni playing Super Mario 64 DS on my horrible grey OG DS. I was struggling with beating the penguin race on Cool Mountain, my excuse being the dreadful DS controls and the inability to cheat. Yes, I was a crab claw stylus user like an idiot. On the fourth consecutive attempt and my fourth failure, the passenger next to me laughed, grabbed the DS out of my hands and promptly completed it without missing a beat, and then handed back the DS, smiling. I was stunned into silence. Before they rang the bell and got off the bus, I have since obtained the star myself, legitimately honest. Yours in peace, Just Shields.
Question is
I never
though,
thought about that.
did they use the D-pad instead? Because that was the easier way to do it rather than the stylus.
It was stylus for shit. We're
We're gonna need some follow up.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
But just give me my fucking.
Yeah, don't
what are you
just take my
doing?
fucking shit off me.
Don't take my shit off me and.
Yeah, and then finish it
laughing.
for me.
I think I would have just
Knob.
held it up in front of him and deleted the save file.
Yeah, what did they want it to do? Oh man, what a legend! Shut up.
The legend of the
How
64 bus.
How would you get that arrogance to just lean over and go, "Oh, I'll do it"?
Just fucking.
Or
slap
do you
that out
reckon this
someone's
is-
hands. Like,
Is this right? There's two things here. Either is the most arrogant, nasty person on the face of the planet that just took the DS off you, or just Shields is leaving some stuff out where the guy went, "Oh, you're struggling with that? Oh, yeah, no, I reckon I can do that actually." Do you know what I mean? There's just something not right here, and I know we all sort of adjust stories to
imagine
suit
if
certain
Shields
situations,
just
but-
invented the entire thing just to make himself look stupid.
Or no, or maybe in real life, Josh Shields was the person who did it, but he's like, no, I'm going to actually take it from another point of view because that's cooler. Out of us
Yeah,
four,
and then
who's
I
most
cannot
likely
wait-
to do that? Like, who's most likely if each of us are sat next to someone who's struggling really badly on a game?
I know the answer.
Yes, so do I.
Who gone?
I was going to say James.
Yeah, I was going to say James,
Yeah.
and I reckon
the
it wouldn't
hell?
be. It wouldn't be because he had the arrogance of knowing that he could do it, but I bet that the person that was struggling was huffing, and the noise was pissing James off. Like the
It
huff of someone
probably-
going, "Oh, for Christ's sake! Oh, for God! Look, just give it to me." That's what would happen.
It would be
See, I-
irritation, yeah.
See, I would probably find it really irritating as well. But instead of just grabbing the thing, I would remain silent.
Just dash it out the
and then
window.
at one point when they mess up, and I said, "No, just go left. Go fucking left, you idiot."
And the bus driver was like, "Ah!" Yeah. Yeah, John Halo. No. Okay, John Halo's messaged.
That was one of the worst, Matt.
And the bus driver would just go, "Eh,"
I mean, we're only 13 minutes in, so I think, you know,
and everyone
just
would stop and
strap
say,
in.
"Bus driver,
fine.
why are you making noises with your mouth?" And he's going to go meta and meta.
And
different
he's like,
layers.
actually, it's a very good point because I was banned from driving 2 years ago. So. And turns out it's actually a dream. Right, John Halo. I just wanted to give James a big shout out for continually letting everyone know about my new upcoming game, Halo 3. It's been a rough 18 years pulling all this together, but finally we can celebrate and finish the fight when the fully playable version launches soon. No one believed in Halo 3. They all said it was a pipe dream, that it couldn't be done, and for years people dismissed the rumours of a new Halo game. But now it's laughing. Halo 3 is finally here, it's ready, and it's coming soon to your gaming machine of choice. Yes, even on PlayStation. Did I just drop an exclusive? I think I did. Go Spartans.
It's embarrassing,
James,
isn't it?
how did you react to that whole thing? So did you watch the video back afterwards?
I did watch it, but I showed it to Chen as well.
It is
And
incredible.
She was just like, oh dear. Like, that's why did you do that? And I was like, I know, I don't know why I did that. It was
was-
terrible.
Should we do the announcement?
What's
What
the
are we-
announcement?
Oh, yes. Yeah, perfect time for it.
Oh, of course,
So,
of course.
I have just made live the a commemorative T-shirt for that bit. If you go to the TCGS store, I won't describe it. It's probably funny if you just go and look for yourself. Yeah, I don't know. It was James. I think James, you said, "Oh, we need a T-shirt that says this on it," and I was like, "Yeah, go on then." I had nothing to do at work. I think so.
I would also
Yeah.
like to make
Yeah,
it clear.
so
as well, because
tcgs.co/store to see that.
TCGS.co, /store to see the commemorative T-shirt of James announcing that Half-Life 3 is in development, whatever. But there was part of me that when we suggested this, I was like, oh, are we just going to do this for every funny thing that happens on the pod? Are we going to be like, monetize it? But I want to make it clear.
That's sort of the way forward, though.
Yeah, I think you're right. But I do want to make it clear to our listeners that we don't earn much from these T-shirts. So we are not trying to gouge you of money. We are literally just trying to provide something that might be funny for you to wear.
Yeah, like
and
we really don't expect people to like collect these. It's
no,
more just like,
this is
not
like
what you were saying last night.
Yeah, this is not like when Edge had like a what was it, like 8 covers for one issue.
Collect them all. Yeah.
So it's just funny, isn't it? And if you agree, for £20, you could also.
So I think if what I'm hearing is correct, next week there'll probably be a T-shirt about a bus driver going.
I mean, to be fair, the map design has just been sat on there, and I've just not. I don't know. I've not had an excuse to make it live. Maybe I've got to say something funny first. Maybe I'd use the same design but change the quote at the bottom and then the bus driver would go.
Okay, next bit of feedback.
Barry Fudge Cake. Regarding the handhelds on holiday chat, I always take my Switch on a family holiday, although less since my wife left me and I don't get invited to the in-laws on holiday anymore. Yeah, that will affect that actually, Barry.
Do it, yeah.
But it never gets used as I'm too busy being involved with the holiday. However, my favourite holiday handheld gaming memory was completing Hotline Miami on my Vita in France while sipping on a bottle of red. I played it loads since then, but it doesn't quite hit the same, and as it did hold up in that cottage. Thanks to the pods, it's made Wednesday my favourite day. Keep on trucking.
Oh, thanks.
It's weird, isn't it? Because to a non-gamer, which is not you guys are cool because you listen.
We are. I believe they call us hardcore gamers.
Yeah.
I thought we were power gamers, but yeah, go on.
Same thing. Someone who doesn't play games, it must sound insane that like, oh, I really enjoyed sitting in a different country and playing a game. But it is nice. Like it's.
I know. I do it every week.
Atmosphere, isn't it? It's the way you play stuff is like, okay, you're staring at a screen. You might have headphones in, but it is still influenced by the environment, right, and just the mood of being on holiday.
Yeah, for sure. That you don't have to get up and out. I always think of when I play Puzzle Bobble. I always think, it just takes me back to that arcade in Spain that I God knows how much money I spent on. I mean, euros, pesetas are stuck into that bad boy. Good times. One question though, how long is it going to be before you take your Switch 2 out of the house?
Pretty much straight away. I'll be using it on the train.
Really?
Yeah,
straight away.
I mean, I don't really go anywhere, so that makes it easier for me to.
Same with me, mate. Same with me. Not going anywhere.
Yeah,
So
I work
should
from
be
home
all
now,
right.
so very little chance to
I'll be
commute.
using it for the commute every day. So it's like, it's fine.
But all someone needs to do is have a strong magnet, and they can just whip it off out of your hands. They just come along with one of those oversized,
massive,
those red horseshoe
with the silver ends. Yeah.
magnets.
I mean,
You can just whack it and then just put it away from you.
It looks pretty much the same though, doesn't it? So people are just going to think it's a Switch, I guess.
That's true. They won't even
It's
know.
not
Good
bigger,
point,
is it?
mate. Good point. You listening, Nintendo? Fuck you. You've just been punked, mate. You've just been done.
The other day I was thinking, I said before, like when we get the Switch 2, I've told Isaac, like, look, you can play on it, but it stays in the dock as far as you're concerned.
Yes, same.
And obviously I've been a bit like, am I being a wanker? Like it's a
Well, I
toy.
think it's when you said like it needs gloves and has to do it through those things. With, like scientists put the 2 hands in the gloves and like.
So he's had like free reign of the original Switch for like ages now, and just this morning I just picked it up and like that screen is fucking covered in spit.
Yep.
I don't know how he does it. Like I think it's just because I've said he like commentates when he plays all the time.
Just really hates the
fucking
Switch.
gobbing all over the screen the entire time. It looks disgusting. So no, he's not going anywhere near the Switch 2.
I get that with the computer I'm using at the moment because I actually use it to play Minecraft, and it's like I never touch the screen, right? Because why would I? Yeah. And then you look at it, and it's like, why is there like fingerprints all over this? Like, I just don't understand. It's weird.
Point at things, isn't it?
Makes me
Pointing
sick.
at things. Also, I think I should make it very clear. I went round my sister's house the other day. I think I should make it very clear. don't use glass cleaner on your Switch devices or your TVs.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
It takes the coating off, doesn't it? Or doesn't it affect the...
No, it doesn't take the coating off. It's just the oils just stay on there. Like I did it on my fucking laptop, didn't I? Last week when Matt come down.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine. Once you wash it with water, it's fine after that. But fucking hell, I was like, for a moment, I was so angry at myself.
I use a spray. I got it from Amazon like years ago, and it's just lasted forever. It's called Screen Mom.
Screen
Mom.
Screen Mom, as in a mum for your screens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Screen Mom.
Screen Mom.
Well, MOM.
That's a new search term to use later.
Okay.
I mean, they should have localised it really. You know, for the
Screen Mother.
UK market.
Yeah, as soon as it runs out, I will just
Screen
buy
Mam.
the exact same one again, assuming it's still available. It's been about 5 years.
It's all sorts of great advice, tech tips you get on TCGS. It's the sort of
Use your
information-
Screen Mom.
It is quite funny, but it's not just jokes. There's
No.
there's some really good advice in
Hard-hitting insights.
stuff.
Also, yes, they are all heading towards their middle age. One of them's past it. Okay, should we move on?
Yeah, Pope has messaged. Assuming it's the new Pope, so congratulations.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Yeah, loved all the papacy stuff. Great work. Great. Anyway, Pope. James has clearly bought a PS5 Pro. When he mentioned last week about Forza Horizon, he mentioned how pretty it looks and how stable the frame rate was. The only way you can get a solid 60 with better graphics is the Pro. It was even reported by the only source James trusts, Eurogamer, that the best way to play was via the PS5 Pro. Also, just his overall tone during the section was sketchy. He made flimsy excuses and blamed his kids. Classic deflection tactics. He did exactly the same during all his Switch purchases.
I mean, I always sound sketchy whenever I'm talking about any of these things, so I wouldn't take that as being a reason, but I do not own a PS5 Pro. Can we just be clear about that?
James?
Yeah.
Send me all of your bank details, ingoing and outgoing.
We're doing a tax
incoming and
return live.
outgoing.
I
want
take
that
a
for the past
picture.
8 months.
I can take a picture of this with today's bill.
Newspaper?
Doesn't matter. I want your bank
Because I
details,
think
mate.
you've still got the old console for Asher. I think Asher's got the old PS5.
He hasn't.
Yeah,
He's
I
got a
think you're
PS4. So
Release your, this
it's
is
gonna
like
be-
Trump. Like release your tax returns, James.
Do you
We've
know
got
what's
to
really
know.
funny is that I've always said he's a bit like Trump, and like I reckon when it comes to the new year, he'll do this big thing where it's like, I had one all along. I'm gonna go, yeah, brilliant, James, but we've just wasted a year of knowing that, just not you confirming it. It's annoying.
I do not
just tell us.
have a PS5 Pro. I don't have one. I mean, I've looked at them. I won't deny it. I've looked at them, but I don't own one.
Room
We'll
where
have a
it
look.
is.
Yeah, look, I can look. We'll have a look. We'll have a look.
I can see it right now.
Oh, we'll have a look.
I mean, Media Marks were doing a discount the other week,
I can't believe you're actually looking at them.
but it was it wasn't a substantial
Oh,
discount.
like you're not, Matt.
No, I mean-
you make me sick as
I
well.
will get one for GTA.
We've always known what Matt's plan is. He's gonna
Yeah, I
get
said
one
I'll get him for that.
GTA.
He'll get one before then, I think.
Well, there's no point.
He sits on a fucking bed of money and he'll go, oh, actually, I'll just scrape off a little
Look,
bit.
I've said this before. You know, I will buy anything that's new, and it's like there's no point for that. If they said every game is 4K 60, I'm like, okay, look, guys, obviously there's a reason. Not even every game
Fine,
does that.
But you've just spent £3,000 on a PC.
Yeah. What's your point?
Well, I mean, you're not averse
I can
to
do
overspending on things you don't need.
Right, true. I needed a PC for the podcast, and I'm actually very happy with the value.
It's actually doubly funny because I know what Matt's been playing this week.
Oh
and,
yeah,
and it literally runs on the Quake 3 engine.
yeah, but exceptional though.
Okay, right. Next bit of feedback.
Ben has messaged, not that Ben, a different Ben. I wrote in about giving ITV Genius Game a deco. No, not a typo. Giving something a deco is like looking into something, giving it a chance and checking it out. My parents use this phrase all the time growing up. A new show comes out on telly and it'd be like, oh, I'll give that a deco. Me, 38, and my brother, 41, use this phrase all the time. Our friends use this as a phrase too. And any time they recommend a new game, I'll give it a deco. It may be some regional expression, I'm from Yorkshire, but I was searching up online for the origin, not finding anything, so maybe I'm the weird one. I'm currently thinking to myself, is this a Mandela effect going on here? The closest phrase I can find is having a gander. I genuinely would love to know if anyone else has ever heard the phrase, give it a deco. Deco is spelled DECO, by the way.
Well,
I recommend the show.
I'll let you finish, and then I'll.
Okay.
Yeah.
I recommend the show to David because it's a bit like The Traitors. The whole time I was watching the show, I thought of David, I thought he'd like it, and I would love to hear his opinion on the show. The game's really good. Yes, a little bit complicated, very intriguing and compelling to watch how it pans out. I'm really enjoying it and really hooked. And that's from Ben.
Okay. Sean, do you want to begin?
I've got some wonderful news, Ben. You're not going mad. It's a real thing. It's spelled DEKKO. So I looked it up, and yeah, apparently it's of Hindi origin. So the original spelling is DEKHO, and yeah, it came over from India in the early 1900s. So yeah, and it means
the same thing. The meaning hasn't changed.
Yeah. Give it Deco. So I'm gonna start using that now. Actually,
Give her our Deco in it.
yeah.
Louis Balfour, or Lewis Balfour, I never know. Back in 2008, I bought an Xbox 360 arcade version of £130 new from Woolworths, solely for the purpose of playing GTA 4. Adjusting for inflation, that's £208 in today's money. Granted, it sounded like a jumbo jet during gameplay and red ringed about 18 months later, but somehow I think I got a bargain. 2 years later, the 80-gig PS3 launched for £425. That's the equivalent of £723. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Sony launches the PS6 £800 digital only.
£800 would be. I reckon it would be closer. I reckon it would be more like 600. I don't think they can launch a new generation that high.
Only also because I think they're already thinking about the PS6 Pro. So if they do 600 for that, then the PS6 Pro will be £800. I think they'll probably think like that. But who knows?
Yeah, I think it'd be more around then. But I can't believe we're even talking about it at this point. I know there's that whole but time goes faster. You know, the older you get and all that sort of stuff. But I still don't feel like this generation has kicked on at any point. Do you know what I mean?
Because you think that hasn't been massive kind of experiences that feel next gen only? Is that?
I feel like it's kind of established now, like in the sense of, but there
it's
hasn't been
getting
anything.
there.
But there hasn't been anything that's like really like just been like, okay, we're here.
But if we went back to last gen, we'd be like, oh yeah, actually there is a difference. Is this not like when games get remastered? You're like, that's exactly how I remember it. You look at the old game, it looks like total trash, obviously, because it's like 20 odd years old. If we went back to last gen, would we not be like, okay, you can clearly see the difference between an old game and Clair, Obscur, and
for sure,
Forza on PS5 Pro, and like God of War games, etc.
But I think there are some games, and they are exceptions, obviously, from last gen that can go toe to toe with most stuff this gen, which is wild, really. But
then there is a game coming at the start of next year that we'll talk about the trailer later. But holy shit, that may be the holy shit moment that we've all been waiting for this gen.
It looks like it.
I mean, are a lot of games still just being released on like Xbox One and PS4 as well? Like, is that still like a big thing?
I don't think so. I just don't think that Sony have been firing on all cylinders. And they've had quite a couple of years, really, when you think about it. And Microsoft are going through fucking turmoil. I just hope, we get to see a big improvement over although there's already memes about the games that are coming out for the Switch 2. Have you seen the stuff where it's like they show you a clip from Mario Kart 8 and a clip from Mario Kart World, and they look very, very similar? And you go, okay, I guess, I don't know. And then it switches them around and says, no, we got this the wrong way round. This is actually Mario Kart 8 and this is Mario Kart World. And you go, oh, okay, right, fucking hell. So I get it. It's one of those things. It's the same with all technology, which is plateauing at the moment. But still, I don't know. The fact that we're talking about PS6 actually scares me at this point, because it's kind of like...
It doesn't feel ready, does it? It's
no.
Nowhere near.
Exactly. Why? Yeah, totally.
Okay, Chris, in last week's pod, you were all discussing
mispronunciations.
I think he knows, James.
Yeah, I do. I was wanted to. In last week's pod, you were all discussing mispronunciations. I had a sudden flashback to when I was 5 or 6. My mum bought me a game for the Sega Master System, a shiny new copy of Super Monaco Grand Prix. At that age, I was told I was bright and I knew I was good at reading and writing. So imagine my horror when I excitedly read the title on the box as Super Monaco Grand Prix. We've all been, and everyone in the room laughed at me. My mum explained that Grand Prix is French and it actually pronounced Grand Prix, and I felt a genuine flash of anger. Why was I being tricked like this? I barely grasped English, and now I'm supposed to just know how the French say things. That's a bloody good point, actually, Chris.
Funny enough, I had this with Isaac the other day because we were playing Mario Kart, and he was like, "Oh, go on Grand Prix," and I was like, didn't laugh at him obviously because that's not the way you encourage a child to learn things.
No, but sometimes
You idiot!
It was a bit funny, obviously, but yeah, I was like, "Oh, it's and it explains it's actually pronounced Grand Prix because it's French," and you know what Isaac's response was? Just fucking argued with me. Nope, says pricks. It says pricks. It says Grand Prix. I'm going to say Grand Prix. That's how I say it.
So were you James Farley tactic?
Oh, the French.
So you're just like, yeah, you go on and do that then. That's
Sean, I'll tell you now, I've got so much time for your son. It is unreal. Like, honestly, it's like a little David Turner in his house. Just
But it's like I made a point of not being like, oh, well, no, actually, it's like I've explained in a nice way.
Yeah.
Like, and you're still just like, nope, not having it.
that kid is the one.
Nike G. Yo chaps, listen to Dave talking about console prices going up had me thinking about my own thoughts with console prices going... Hang on. I'll read that again. Listen to David talking about console prices going up had me thinking about my own thoughts with console prices going up, and I feel that the Switch 2 may be the last console I get at launch. Currently, I do not feel like I have any need for a console to be more powerful than my base PS5, and the Switch 2 offers Nintendo games with price increases seemingly never ending, I feel like my time indulging with the gaming cutting edge may very well be over. Thanks for all you do for Nike G.
I know what you mean, Nike G. This will go away when this PlayStation 6 comes out. Hey man, I'm getting off of this treadmill. I ain't doing what these companies tell me. I'm an independent guy. I'm gonna wait until I'm ready for a next. What is it? When's it out? May. Okay, better pre-order. It's a pre.
I've got 6 pre-orders in. It's like just in case.
There's another Horizon Dawn.
I mean, I see where he's coming from. Like, part of me has been thinking, like, next gen, will I just build a new PC and be done with it?
They're pricey though, Sean.
The other way you build them, Matt.
They're pricey. They are. Not me.
Yeah, but also,
the lovely folks at AWT.
You've never really joined this gen, have you, Sean?
What do you mean?
No, you haven't got PS5.
You didn't get a PS5. That's the real one.
That's the main console.
With the Spider-Mans and the Astrobots.
And God of Wars and that.
Once, don't want
And the
to,
God of
'cause
Wars
it's
and
that
that.
port.
Will H. Hi, T. Suggest first time caller here. I've just woken up from a dream involving David Turner. More specifically, his dad.
What?
Okay, we're gonna. Okay. No word of a lie, I dreamt David just found out his dad had been managing a lower league football team for decades in secret while wearing a wig. David was shocked and heartbroken. In my dream, David's dad was arrested because of this. I'm not sure if managing a football team without telling your family is illegal or not, but it was in my dream. I'm not even into football, so I have no idea where this came from. Completely puzzled. Anyway, whilst I'm here, I just want to say thank you for the podcast. I appreciate all the effort you guys put in the show every week, especially James. All the best, Will.
Thanks, Will.
Cheers, Will. I'll have a word with him.
Yeah.
I'll have a word with him. I mean, in the old days, I would have called him up right now, but we're not on the best footing, so I'll just try and slip it into conversation next time we're at a family event.
Or when you visit him in prison. So,
That's true.
Well,
That's where he's
I'll
going.
know
was that the
then.
reason?
No, I'll
Well-
know then.
Oh no, but he might have said no. It wasn't a managing football
I'm
team
not
or
going to...
anything.
Matt, think about your joke there, right?
Okay, no, go on.
If I was going to ask him, are you a football manager of a lower leagues team, but then waited for him to be arrested, charged, and imprisoned for it,
He might have kept that secret. He might have kept certain aspects of it secret.
well, it was public knowledge, mate. If he's been charged for it, we can get that information.
Well,
Because I'll
yeah,
be
but-
like, where's Dad?
yeah, that's
And I think my
that was my
mum
first
would
question
say,
actually.
Well, actually,
Like,
he's
it was
been
a
arrested
tax
and
thing.
charged for-
And then like, what
It's a
for? Oh,
tax
nothing.
thing.
It was nothing really. What for?
Why
No,
are
it
you
wasn't. Go on. It
Why are
wasn't
you
a football
just
thing.
saying things now? This has got nothing.
The implication was that
Uncomfortable.
he wasn't going to tell you the actual reason, which was, as Will has said here, managing a lower league football team.
Right, okay. But
That's
I'll
the
find
reason.
out.
Can we let Matt
think.
keep explaining this? Can you keep
No, I think I've done my explaining actually, mate. So, how's your PS5 Pro?
Well, no, I haven't got one.
Okay, last message now. Taylor, I think there's much too much focus on $80 USD games narrative. We live in a time when we really have easy access to indies and AAA games. Discounts are larger and more frequent due to a saturated market. We have more choices of retailers.
I'll stop you there just quickly before you continue. Taylor, it's not a narrative that $80 US games. It's not a narrative. That's actually happened, mate.
No, but I think they just mean the fact that
people are talking about
like,
the discourse.
Games are $80 now, whereas that's not the
right. Okay.
Picture is it? Some games are.
But also, we have more choice of retailers. I dispute that. I mean, there aren't any now. It's through the storefronts, isn't it, mostly?
Yeah.
So you don't really have a choice.
Yeah, no, that's correct. The peak was when supermarkets started selling video games, like in a.
What
big
is
way.
that? And also when places like Shop 2 could sell like all the points codes. I'm sure like what wasn't I think Sony stopped ripping them from Amazon and you couldn't buy any digital games.
CDs and stuff.
So anyway, Taylor continues. We should reframe the conversation around value. For example, I bought Vampire Survivors for very little money, and I've had hours of fun with it. Another great example is Balatro. Both his games can be played on anything, anywhere. I don't think this kind of value existed in the past, apart from when I got Age of Empires in a cereal box. So in my humble opinion, value and accessibility is better than ever, and nobody is being forced to buy the latest quadruple A games at full price. That's the message over. Not being forced, but if you want to play the latest AAA games, then or quadruple A, whatever, then there is a big price to
Who added
to
the
pay for it.
last A? Where did the last A come?
AAA wasn't enough.
That was they did that specifically for Skull and Bones because it was so good.
Yeah.
What I will say is that I think putting a price on how much time you spend on something is a dangerous game to play, and I don't subscribe to that. I've spent 60 hours on this game, so I think it's more about. I'm trying to think of a good analogy, and I've not thought this through because I'm doing it on the fly, but I'll give it a go. You can spend money on a day out, right? And you can have an amazing time without spending nothing, like anything. If you go to the park or whatever, and just you can have a good day or whatever, or you can spend very little. You can take some food with you or whatever, or you can go to Disneyland, which costs you a ridiculous amount of money, but you can see where your money's going. All right, Disney overdo it or whatever, but when I went to Disney that time, I was like, oh, there are weird actors everywhere doing shit all the time. How the fuck do they afford this? Oh yeah, I broke the bank to be here. You know what I mean? It's more about you want to see where your money's going when you're playing a game. So when you're playing something like GTA and you can see the fucking bubbles in the beer, you go, okay, right, you can see the amount of money this must have cost to produce. And I want a premium experience. I want something that costs a lot of money to make, right? The time thing doesn't really work, in my opinion. I think if you, like I must have spent 100 hours in Balatro, but there's no way I'm paying £80 for Balatro. Do you know what I mean?
No, but they're not saying that.
Are they not? That's what it felt like.
No, they're just pointing out that like you can get something for cheap and still get a lot of time out of it. I don't think they're saying that's the only metric for value. And the day out analogy, no one's telling you that you should go to Disneyland for every single holiday. Do you know what I mean?
No, but is that what the narrative is?
No, I think the point Taylor's making is that like one end of the spectrum is getting nudged a bit further out, and everyone's talking as if like all games are more expensive now.
I don't think that's true.
They mean.
I don't think that's true. I think people are saying that is £80 or $80, right? Okay, because we're talking dollars. Is $80 too expensive for any game? I think that's what the conversation that's happening, and you do see the price go up. Say if Nintendo are pushing their prices up to $75 for. How much is it? £65 for Mario Kart 8 Mario Kart World if you're buying it from the shop, right?
Yeah.
That raises the bar, right? And that will push the industry for certain games.
And there's
the
an
threshold
argument
goes
that everything.
higher.
Yeah, there's an argument that everything else, from the full spectrum might nudge up to follow accordingly.
Yeah, but even if they don't, the fact that the top end is being pushed up, there's got to be a threshold and a limit of how much you would pay for a single game, no matter how expensive and how big the development process was and all of that sort of stuff. I don't think the narrative has ever been all games cost this now, because I think most people are aware that there's varied pricing across video games from indie through to AAAs or whatever.
The bigger problem is the trend, is this idea of like things, increasing in price, over this. And then also the fact that it is also pricing people out as well of those other experiences, which the thing is, it's all very well saying like, if you can't afford it, like play cheaper, smaller games or whatever like that. But it divides up like the player base, and it's just I don't know, it just feels unfair to me, that's what's going on. And
it's interesting now.
Sorry, Matt, go on.
Just quick. It's interesting now on PlayShare where like digital games are cheaper than the physical games. So Mario Kart World on Nintendo Store, digital was 67 quid and physical was 75.
And you know why they're doing that, don't you?
It's 75, like John Lewis and Game Collection and Shop to everywhere.
Of course, we know why
because it's like inventory and shipping.
Before they didn't do that because they had to keep brick and mortar stores on side, because they were the ones that are promoting consoles like Game and stuff like that, and they were stocking them. They don't need to worry about that anymore because
but James, there's a whole reason why they're doing this. There's a load of reasons why they're doing this. They don't have to worry about distribution physically,
of course.
So it costs them less to get that game into people's hands.
I know, but
they're more controlled over the second-hand market. There's no second-hand market through digital. There's a ton of reason why they want us all to go digital, and I get that.
Of course,
I don't necessarily agree with it, but I think my point is that what I'm saying to Taylor is that I think the narrative has never been all games cost this now, and isn't that a problem? I think there's a conversation to be had, and I think that's what most outlets are saying is that. But what's the limit? Like if GTA 6 come out for 200 quid. Like you'd go, and that's an extreme exaggeration, right, to prove a point. But if that come out for 200 quid, you go, no game is worth £200, right? And I think that is what is worrying, is that where is that limit, and how far are they going to push it before we get there?
Well, this is it, and you've got to imagine someone at Nintendo, like they are big enough that someone at Nintendo has the stats of like, right, for every $5 we add to this game price, here's how many people we leave behind because they're not going to be able to pay for it. They'll have a rough idea of how many people that is, and they've looked at the cost of Mario Kart Mario Kart World, and they've gone, yeah, okay. So it's like, I totally take Taylor's point that like you can meaningfully engage with current video games without buying AAA stuff. I think that's fair enough, but yeah, there is that argument. It's like, yeah, but you are still gonna start leaving more and more people behind. Like it would still be better if more people could afford the high end stuff, and if people are being priced out of it, that is a shame.
Yeah, it's dividing up the audience, which is which is bad.
Mm-hmm. But then you could argue that people are already being priced out of things with £450 consoles.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah,
it's the games now, it's the consoles.
Is it already a hobby for middle class pricks?
Yeah. The other thing, and this is a totally separate point, I've got a prediction about Nintendo. I think we're going to see a lot more of their games on sale from Nintendo. Like their own produced games, they'll be doing sales. I don't know if you've noticed, but they've done loads of sales for Switch stuff towards the end of the year. So the games have gone down to like 35 quid. Not ridiculous sales. They're not like discounts, 10 or 15 quid, but they're small discounts, right? Mm-hmm. And I think they're going in at the high end, so that the people that always buy Nintendo stuff, no matter what, buy it at that price.
Hello.
And then they have at Christmas time, or post-Christmas or whatever, here's a 10% discount, and it's still at a high price, but it's less than the ridiculous numbers we're seeing at the moment. And then suddenly they'll have that data on how many people bought Mario Kart 8 in a sale in the past year, and I bet it's significant. And those people wouldn't have paid a full price for that game at that point. So I think it's interesting. I think Nintendo learned a lot from the Switch, and unfortunately what they've learned is how to get as much money out of consumers as possible. And that's the world we live in.
Yeah, because I mean, maybe it's so hard to make this comparison because everything's so different. But my parents would never have been able to afford like a £450 console when I was younger. Like when I got my Mega Drive, it was like 120 quid with Mega Games 1. Like if if I was young now, my parents wouldn't be able to afford that much money. So I think already, my parents who have like, 1 or 2 or 3 children who want Switches, like, how can you do that? Or maybe it's one game each. That could be.
James is getting ready to defend himself here. Hold on.
No, I was going to say, I hate to say that, but there is also like the inflation side of that. And I know that wages haven't gone up, so that it's a bullshit argument. But like 120 quid, like when you were 15, is quite a lot more now than it was.
Yeah.
Yes, but I remember my parents. I've said this a million times. It sounds like I'm harking on, but I had to pay for most of my consoles out of money that I'd made doing jobs and stuff, or at least half paid for them. Yeah, lots of drug dealing, lots of that.
I mean, when you think about it, like when the Saturn
drawing
came
nudie
out,
pictures. Go on.
When the Saturn came out in the UK, wasn't it like 400 quid?
Yeah, that's 400 quid. Yeah.
I mean, what is that? That's
how did I get the Saturn? So the Saturn was post N64, wasn't it?
No, it was before N64 came out.
Was it really? The Sega Saturn was before the N64?
Yeah.
Wow. God,
I saved up a lot of my paper round money for that. And I think my Saturday job as well. But
I mean, this is the thing. Like, I want Isaac to understand. I want him to have access to a Switch too, but I want him to understand how fucking weird it is that he's getting one day one, or we're getting one day one. Do you know what I mean?
A day you can't touch.
Yeah, there's not enough stuff. You can play it on the TV. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I want him to have nice things, but I also want him to understand that I had none of those things growing up. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that's just bitterness, though, isn't it?
But that sounds like my parents and their parents before that, and isn't that just like generations? Like the parents say, I didn't have that when I was your age. Oh man, unfortunately, that is just
4 TV channels.
Exactly.
If you missed it. That was it.
Yeah.
That was
okay.
Yeah, that is it. Oh, come on, James.
When did the Saturn come out? Was it 95?
I thought it was 96, but who knows?
96. That's like £810 now. Like,
but again,
1994. Blood. Oh yeah, no, it's 95 in Europe. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Shit. So
anyway,
I think my brother must have bought our Saturn then, because I would have been 10. What the fuck?
I should briefly say as well.
Yeah, I would have been 12.
We're obviously discussing all this stuff from a very specific viewpoint. There are entire continents where the idea of buying a new console is fucking insane, and they're engaging with the hobby in tons of other different ways.
Well, that's where you got, like, do you remember, like with Sega, with like the Master System and stuff in Brazil? You know how that did massively successful for like years and years and years, because they were offering like really cheap hardware and everything, and people loved it.
Okay, that is it for feedback. 47 minutes in. Go to tcgs.co/dear TCGS. Leave your feedback or question.
I mean, there's been no big news this week, so
not a lot. No.
James Farley.
All right, so we had the Grand Theft Auto 6 second trailer happened last week, and we all watched it. And yeah, I've got no details here about it because I thought we could just talk about it and what we thought, because I was kind of thought it was amazing. But
yeah, it looks absolutely sensible. Yeah, so obviously we talked about GTA last week.
Wasn't it?
It was horny, yeah.
It was a very horny trailer. It was quite bold to go as horny as it did.
Yeah, they usually are.
Not as horny as this one. This had about 8 scenes where she jumped on
There's a lot of rolling around on. Yeah.
It really was.
Obviously last week we talked about the release date, and then I guess, I mean, you said, David, like, we're probably not going to get much, or we're not going to hear much, and I thought,
no, that's not what I said. Fuck you. That's not what I said.
You said
Fuck you,
you hate
GTA. No.
You said you hope they don't do anything.
What I hope now is that we don't hear from it until the new year, and the very next day they drop the trailer. So it was
but which is also, I mean, again, in previous years I've always been led to believe they do like a teaser image or countdown, but this is just like bang, it's out. It's just like trailer's out, and it looks. I think
they have done this in the past. Once they've started their promotion thing, all of a sudden we'll just start seeing stuff out of nowhere. I could be wrong, but fucking hell, oh my god, the game just looks so next level that it blows your mind. And there's a lot to be said about how the majority of it appears to be cutscenes. Did they confirm whether it was in cutscenes?
They've said it's a mixture of gameplay and cutscenes, all captured on a PS5, so not PC, not PS5 Pro.
Which fucking fair play. If that's how it is on a non-pro PS5, I mean, yes, it'll be 30 frames.
30 frames, yeah. Well, I'm not even sure a Pro will be able do this on like 4K 60, you're probably looking at like 40 frames or I don't know. I can't imagine they can get something looking this good.
I mean, they're so good at what they do. It's
They
unreal.
are, yeah.
But I watched a video showing all details, and there's stuff like things they pointed out was they appear to be. They're probably not, but they appear to be real-time reflections from the guy's watch and glasses and sweat. Rolling down muscles in the right way. As I said, there's a shot of a TV screen that has a bottle of beer just in front of it, and the beer has real-time bubbles bubbling up within the bottle. You've got the scene where he's lifting weights on the beach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the weight discs rotate as they would do if you were lifting weights properly. I mean, they're just incredible what they do, aren't they?
What bit is the horse's testicles from Red Dead Redemption 2 for this?
Well, by the sounds of it, it's the weight, the spinning weight discs. But yeah, I mean, I'm into it. I'm really surprised by how much it sort of leans into this sort of love story. I'm assuming it doesn't go as smoothly as it appears to. It's definitely got those Tarantino vibes that you always get from GTA.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for it. There's a lot of people that I've seen a lot of comments like, "Oh, I want to see gameplay," and I get that. I sort of get that, but that's more impatience rather than they're doing it wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This
and
game's
like,
not out
will.
This
until
is what
May
they've
next
always
year.
done with GTA trailers, right? It's
the
sort of
first
pointless to expect anything else.
Yeah, first res scene setting. This is more kind of story stuff. There'll be. I mean, after watching this, I then watched the first trailer again, and I think there is a noticeable difference. Not as big as as I thought, but there's still, I think, a difference between the first trailer that was released like 2 years ago and this one. And then I went on YouTube and like it just came out of like the GTA 5 announcement trailer. I was like, I watched that as well, and it looks obviously so crazy different. I mean, it's been a long time. And then after that, I watched because one of the later GTA 5 trailers was the classic narration, like, in GTA 5, you'll be able to... And that's what I assume we'll get with this as well, where we get to really see all the details and the mechanics and what it actually looks like.
What's so funny about this to me is because obviously getting information about a new GTA is unlike any other game, because like I went on the website and I saw a picture of a guy in a canoe, and I thought, fucking hell, we're going to be able to go canoeing.
Yeah.
The crime stuff will be great, I'm sure, but
but canoe,
you see things like that, and it's like they would not put that in if that wasn't something you could probably have a go at.
Yeah.
And just like there's a couple of shots of like underwater scenes. It's like, fucking hell, they've modelled all the underwater stuff. It's going to be insane. I
mean, what I like, the touch I like is obviously the game's delayed till May 26th, and that is that's the date of Bonnie and Clyde's funeral in 1930s. So, obviously a lot of kind of similarities, and I guess that's that tells us a lot about maybe the relationship.
Read that, Matt?
The internet. Where else are we going to find it?
In a book.
It sounded like you were like, "Hey, obviously this is that very famous date that I'm aware of."
Right?
Yes, yeah. But yeah, it's just I mean that's just a nice little touch, isn't it? But yeah, this looks stunning, as you would imagine.
There's part of me that also thinks that we're going to get another trailer pretty soon, actually. And again, could be wrong, but this was definitely a Jason. Jason's the male character that seems to be part of the duo that you play as in this game, and this one seemed to be mainly from his perspective. And we are almost certainly guaranteed a trailer from. Is it Lucia?
Yeah, I think it's Lucia.
I'm sure there'll be one from her perspective as well. Soon. I'm fucking pumped. It's going to be great, and that trailer is the sort of thing. There's a few trailers, video game trailers, that you pass to non-gamers to go, look at what's going on now. Sadly, one of those was Watch Dogs, the initial showing of Watch Dogs, but that didn't happen. But
it was full of promise.
It was. This was definitely one of those. Just going, holy shit! Look at these.
Have you looked through the website? Because there is actually tons of stuff on it.
I've seen the screenshots.
Bits of it, but the website was annoying me a little bit.
It was, it's very.
It's one of those ones where, where you scroll up and then like images like rotate.
Parallax scrolling's all over the shop.
I hate all that shit.
You can turn that stuff off.
Can you?
Yeah. Well, I think it's an accessibility and SEO. Well, not that they're worried about SEO, I suppose, but yeah, it's certainly an accessibility nightmare. So yeah, you can turn it off.
Cool. I'm going to give you all one guess on how many views that trailer has had to date. It was uploaded 6 days ago. Please close down the trailer if you've got it open.
No.
Closest one wins. James Farley, you get to pick first.
I don't know. 200 million? Got no idea.
200 million, says James Farley.
Yeah, don't. I'll say 150. I don't know.
150
I was going to
million.
go way lower. I was going to go like 20 million.
Oh no, it's definitely higher than that.
Okay, fine. Well, I'll
So
stick
the winner
with it just
is
for the
Matthew
sake of-
Murray. But it's actually got 104,351,817 views as of now. It's a lot of views, isn't it?
Do we know whether that's done better than the first trailer? I know, I think
Well,
Rockstar said it's like the
there's no
most
way of-
successful kind of like movie game trailer in the first 48 hours and that kind of stuff. But I
wanna
mean, again, not surprised. But
Check how many views that first trailer's got now.
yeah, because the first one is the most watched video game trailer, isn't it?
258 million views that has had. 258,851,931 views. That is mental, isn't it? Just send some views over to... Do you know what I hope? Is that in trailer 3 at some point, the characters turn around to the screen and go, you should listen to the Computer Game Show podcast, and then it carries on.
Slightly.
Do you reckon Rockstar are monetising those trailers as well? Just thinking what the payout is on YouTube.
Probably. Massive.
40 quid.
Yeah.
Good money to them, innit?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
GTA has always been my most anticipated game every time they release a new one, and this just looks unbelievably good. So
Does look good. Does look good. Next news story.
Okay, so we've got an update on Giant Bomb.
Update.
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 We talked about last week with Fandom, and they had the whole, mess with that. But now it's been sold to to Jeff Grubb, Jeff Bacalard, Dan Reichart, Mike Minotti, and is it Jan Okoa? Is that right? I don't know how you pronounce the name.
I think it's a Choa, yeah.
Yeah, sure, yeah. And so they bought the site and it's now independent. Here's the quote. They said, Giant Bomb is now owned by the people who make Giant Bomb, and it would not have been possible without the speedy efforts of Fandom and our mutual agreement on what's best for fans and creators. The future of Giant Bomb is now in the hands of our supporting community who have always had our backs no matter what. We'll have a lot more to say about what this looks like soon, but for now everyone can trust that all the support we receive goes directly to this team. So they've increased subscriptions now from $5 to $10. And do you want to hear what Fandom had to say about this?
Go on.
They said, fans are at the core of everything we do at Fandom, and we're committed to not only serving them, but also supporting the creators they love. And the sale of Giant Bomb represents a natural extension of that mission. We're confident Giant Bomb is in good hands, and its legacy will live on with Jeff and Jeff. So there you go. It's a happy ending, I guess.
Yeah, they had to say something, but obviously, they were getting ripped to shreds, and this brand that's been in games media for forever was getting ripped apart by their own silly policies. So yeah, I mean, great actually. I mean, I'm really impressed. I didn't think this would. Well, I didn't think this would happen at all. Like when they announced they were doing a PAX panel. And I was like, oh, wow, that's going to be interesting. Because it's 2 or 3 days after it all kicked off. But then that was when they announced this. And yeah, it's great. I mean, it's back in the hands of the actual people who care about it. And Fandom had some bad PR. And now they can go away and do their shit on other websites. And Giant Bomb has hopefully got a future again. But
it's so strange to me that I can't obviously this is a good result, right, for Giant Bomb.
Yeah, totally.
But it just fascinates me what Fandom's decision-making process was.
Yeah.
Is there no one at Fandom who was like, guys, we could have just fucking left it alone,
Yeah.
and it would have been fine?
I'm sure there was loads of them people, but also there's a people who look at the numbers and the suits, but then maybe they didn't realise how upset the community will be, or games media in general. Like, hang on, you're destroying one of these well-known brands, so they probably didn't appreciate that, and everyone basically ripping Fandom to shreds, saying like, all I do is buy stuff and rip it and put it into shitty wikis. They don't understand what have they bought, and so this is like the best PR option really for them. So look, we sell it. Giant Bomb's back in the hands of the people who love it and work on it. We get to kind of draw a line under this. They clearly didn't understand, and everyone's a winner, really. I
suppose,
it's
if you're so focused on numbers, you're not going to look at something like Giant Bomb and be like, hey, if we continue to own this and just let them do what they want and let it be successful in its own way, then when people have a go at us about being shitty numbers people, we can go, hey, no, look, we own Giant Bomb and it's fine and it's beautiful and we just leave it to it. But they can't even bring themselves to do that, can they? It's like they'd rather just fucking get rid of it. It's so strange to me.
I'm surprised they did because I mean, Jeremy Parish, who's
former One Up.
From One Up and everything. Like he put on Blue Sky about how when One Up was sold, how they tried to get together a similar sort of thing, like a consortium to buy it, and how it was like Ziff Davis were just not interested. They were like, it's too valuable. Like there's no way we'll sell it to you, and then they left it, and then it obviously, it got mothballed eventually. But it is.
We won't stick on this too long because I know some people don't really care about Giant Bomb or whatever. But do the next Lander lot return? That's the question.
No way. I think they're on too much of a good thing on their own without having to work about. It's just 3 of them. They're getting all the Patreon money. Another split, more people. I don't think they need to. I think they're happy doing their own thing on their own. How big
that would be if they return to it, man.
Yeah, I mean, the kind of dream of of them and Jeff Gerstmann
Giant Bomb back. That's huge.
Yeah, but the idea of Brad, Vinny, and Alex, and then all the people that we know from Giant Bomb over the years getting back to to go back to Giant Bomb. It sounds like a dream, but everyone's happy on their own wavelength now, their own speed. They don't have to worry about reviews or previews. They can just do what they want, and they're probably making money as a result.
Because I've never been a Giant Bomb guy, so I've not
never
really
been a duder.
Never really followed the timeline. Is it like a Sugar Babes scenario at this point, or are there still people from back in the day? I've no idea.
I thought it was the people on the mics and stuff. I thought it was fully different now to what it used to be.
It is fully different, yeah, because there is no Gerstmann, Jeff, Vinny, and Alex. There's no Drew. Obviously, sadly, Ryan Davis passed away many years ago. So, so everyone on the podcast now, I mean, even people like Ben and Abby, they were kind of, in between the two kind of eras of Giant Bomb. They're not on it anymore. So, I mean, Jan Ochoa was there as a producer when Jeff Gerstmann and Vinny and Alex and Brad were there, but it's... it's not quite Sugar Babes, but I mean, a lot of people seemingly are quite happy with this new kind of era with Jeff Grubb and Bacala and co. So, I mean, this is only good news, and it's amazing. But I wasn't expecting such happy news from this kind of story. You just assumed it would get destroyed and ripped apart and sold, and that was it. But I mean, how many times have we said this? Okay, this is like a new era for Giant Bomb, a new future. They're doing it again. I mean, I really hope. I mean, given this one is owned independently, I have more hope this time, but then another acquisition by another company that doesn't understand what they're doing. But hey,
they'll be bought out soon.
But by next Lander.
I mean, be GameSpot again. Come sniffing around. So just
We are open to offers, by the way. If anyone's,
we keep saying it. No one's ever got in contact.
Well, because now we know that actually there's we can get bought and then presumably make some money and then buy it back.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I guess what you're saying, I mean, Fandom have a gap in their portfolio now.
Yeah.
We would happily step up. Fandom, if you're listening, give us a bell.
We could do this like PG-13. Be no problem.
Okay.
Unlike Giant Bomb, we need to be told what to do. We could do with some pointers.
All right, next news story.
So there's been some photos have leaked of the Asus-made Xbox handheld. This is the partner handheld that's coming first before actual sort of Xbox hardware. And there's 2 versions of this, which is the Asus ROG Ally whatever 2.
Ally 2, yeah.
I don't know what it's supposed to be called. So there's a regular white coloured version and then a black coloured version as well. That's got like a
one.
Yeah, blackcurrant one.
I love a blackcurrant one.
That's got like an Xbox button on it. There's no details yet at all on technical specifications, but apparently, according to Windows Central, it's being tested a lot at Microsoft's US headquarters. But also, no pricing either. Nobody has any idea.
Well, obviously, this is all leaks and rumours, right?
Yeah.
This isn't... How legit do you think this is?
I think it's completely legit. But I mean, it looks horrific. I think
it does look
well. I mean, those things do, don't they? They look like. I mean, for me, the D-pad looks like outrageously bad. I can't believe how bad. I can't believe how bad the D-pad looks. But this is all like work in progress and sort of shells of things, isn't it? I don't know. I'm not really expecting it to look quite as bad as it did in the leaks. We'll see.
No, I'm sure when it launches, it'll probably be slicker than this. Especially it won't look like it's got all like fingerprints all over it and all that kind of thing.
It is weird how dusty and fingerprinty they are in the pictures.
Yeah.
But I guess unlike say a Steam Deck and even the other ROG allies, they're quite kind of rectangle shape. Where this looks like it's just two halves of a controller again, a little bit like what the Portal does. Yeah. I mean, again, I know that we said this is probably a good way for them to do it, but I just doesn't excite me. If Microsoft here is the Microsoft made Xbox portable, I'll be like, okay, brilliant. This is like a Nintendo Switch. It's like Sony making their thing, but it just doesn't excite me as much if it's like, oh, it's ROG and making theirs. Even though the ROG Ally is maybe a great machine and this, that, and the other, it doesn't excite me as much as, oh yeah, this is an Xbox branded handheld that can play Xbox Game Pass. It's like, no, I kind of want a dedicated, made by Microsoft console, and that might excite me more.
Get used to it because the next Xbox is going to be like this, I think. I still think that's what's going to happen, and but the other thing that people are talking about a lot with this is like, what's it going to run? Is it going to be running like an Xbox OS kind of thing, or is it going to be another Windows one that's just running like Xbox, Game Pass?
I think it definitely Windows, because they're trying to put so much work into handheld versions of Windows. I think even last week there was an update to. And maybe it was to mobile Windows or the handheld version. Now it shows like the Wi-Fi symbol and battery and stuff, and people like this is because they're getting ready for, for the Windows handheld mode, whatever it is. So you got to imagine that is it. But yeah, obviously Steam Deck is Linux. They're not going to be doing that, given that they own
Well,
Windows,
I think if they do announce it, it'll be in the summer, right? It'll be in their summer showcase. So
Summer Game Fest, yeah.
Yeah, but have they confirmed details of any of that yet?
Well, we know when Game Fest is happening because it's in June.
Oh, right.
We know a date.
Right.
I don't know about other stuff.
All right, cool. Okay.
Final story. Actually, no, it's not. No, it is the final story. No, there was another tiny story, which maybe I'll just shove it in here now. Was that that GTA 4 is apparently getting a version that's going to.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Current gen consoles, but
Right.
which is interesting because it's not available on current gen stuff at all. So
Well, yeah. Plus, there was didn't they sort of patch it? They had to remove a load of the songs because licenses were running out and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see if the new version sort of rectifies that.
Yeah, GTA 4 on current consoles. I mean, I don't really feel the need, especially with GTA 6 coming. But I mean, again, it makes sense. Like everyone's talking about GTA 6. Well, why not go back and play some older GTA games? It makes absolute sense, given that
I never actually finished the campaign in 5.
All right.
Should probably do
It's
Really?
I remember
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that. I
I was really enjoying it, and then online happened, and then I was like, oh, this is how I want to play GTA from now on. So.
But the rumor is this is coming for like Switch and stuff as well. Like they did with Red Dead Redemption. It's like it's another go, isn't it? Another go around.
I hope it's not the same people who handled the new versions of the old ones.
Yeah, they were good. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, last story is that Nintendo apparently reserves the right to brick your console following unauthorized use. So this is from Eurogamer, and apparently Nintendo have updated their Nintendo account agreement where there's like a warning against what they're calling unauthorized use to prevent emulation and piracy and stuff like that. What's quite interesting here, I think, is that there are two different versions of this. One, like the UK one, is different to the US one. So for the UK one, it says that digital products are licensed only for personal and non-commercial use, and that any unauthorized use of a digital product may result in the digital product becoming unusable. But in the US one, it says you acknowledge that if you fail to comply with the foregoing restrictions, Nintendo may render the Nintendo account services and/or the applicable Nintendo device permanently unusable in whole or in part.
That is dreadful.
Yeah, this is what's weird because it's this different. For the UK, they're talking about digital products, so I'm assuming this means the software. That whatever games you downloaded, they won't work, or maybe whatever. But for the US one, it makes it sound like they're just going to brick your console, which is crazy that they.
I don't. Obviously that sounds awful, and obviously I hate this shit. I don't think they would get away with that though.
Or maybe they won't get away with that in the UK and EU, which is why it's a different law. Whereas in the US, they seem to think they can get away with it.
I can't remember the specifics. I seem to recall that legally the precedent has been set that no, you bought the console, you own it. Obviously you can, fuck up your access to Nintendo's servers if you absolutely must, but you I don't think they're allowed to brick the console based on how you use it, because ultimately you bought the device. You didn't buy like a license to use the device.
Yeah.
Don't know. I think it sounds worse than it is, but it's still the fact that it sounds as bad as it does is already too far. Like it's fucking horrible.
There's
I
also
hate the future.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
it's not
also
great,
been
is
a
it?
bit of a fuss about how the Switch 2 like records voice and video chats on your console for what they're saying for a limited period of time if you give consent. But then like Eurogamer went back to Nintendo and asked about this, and they just said all recording is otherwise privately stored on a device, so no recording is sent to Nintendo until a report is submitted. It seems that this is for like online play and stuff, for like reporting bad behaviour and stuff like that. It seems is what's going on with this. But people are a bit upset that apparently it's recording everything. But then don't the PS5 and Xbox already do that? Like when you're playing, it's constantly recording, right?
Yeah.
So I don't
Yep.
know. But that's it. That's
Still,
the end of
I just don't like this sort of knowing
no,
that they have
it's still
threatening.
gross. It's just
Yeah.
I think
Fucking makes me ill.
people are acting like this is a new thing, and it's sadly not.
Just on the Nintendo thing, Elodie and I played Mario Kart on Saturday, and it's the first time we played it since the machine was updated to 20.0 with the virtual game card thing.
Oh, yeah,
So I was like, okay, I'll just literally press the button and it will connect to the internet. No, I had to go for the whole like virtual game card like rubbish just for like.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I was like, okay,
yeah.
brilliant. I just want to play it. No, it's like, hey, welcome to virtual game cards. I press this, I'll accept that, do that. Now Elodie can't play something unless I update her console to the latest firmware as well now. And it's like, bloody, I just want to like play the game. It's like a bit, like, I don't know, it just felt like a couple of minutes of stuff I didn't need to do. I just thought I was going to play the game. If I was lending it to someone else, sure, but now, because I was playing on my console, which isn't the primary one. I mean, does that, maybe I don't need to do the whole primary secondary thing anymore if virtual game cards avoid that. I don't know.
I'm hoping to not have to do that shit.
Because I don't have to connect to the
I'd
internet
rather
when I'm out.
We won't know until we probably get stuck into it, isn't it? And I'm not having more than one Switch 2 in the house for a long, long time. So.
Well, but I mean, this happened on Switch 1 though. I mean, so it's happening now to learn from it.
No, I know, but it's but you're not buying new games and you're not using the Switch 1 as much as you used to, right? So until this gets regular use, I don't know if we'll work out the kinks. There'll be a moment where everyone's fucking moaning about something 100%. All right, are we done?
Yes, that's it.
Then it's time for what you've been playing. And we do have a new game to talk about. We've got a couple of new games to talk about this week, so we will start with them. And we'll start with Revenge of the Savage Planet, Matt. That came out on Friday. We were big fans of the original game Journey to the Savage Planet, which was a first-person Metroidvania, I think, style
Metroidvania-ish,
game. Yeah, it was. It had moments where it's sort of open worldish, but quite limited, and there are areas you can't get to until you get the right upgrade. So you've got to progress, get the upgrade, and get to the new places. It had tons of charm. It had a unique style. One of the things I loved about that original game was that you could hit a screaming chicken thing that then went running around for ages. So you'd hear it screaming at the top of its voice, and then you just hear it come past you and go, as it run past you. It was very funny, and we loved it right up until we hit a bug that it was like not a horde mode thing, but there was an area where you had to defend something, and there was waves of enemies being chucked at you. For some reason, Matt just kept crashing, and that was quite early on, so we probably could have gone back to it. But by that point, you know what it's like. Once you fall off the horse a little bit, it's hard to get back on. So this is a strange one, and I don't really know how to approach it, Matt. Do you?
Well, I guess
we spent
the
about
first
2.5 hours playing it on Saturday night, didn't we?
Yeah, I think
we
the first
were a
thing for
bit
me to
baffled.
mention is I almost forgot the first one was first person. Now this is third person, and I guess just to start off like a massive positive straight away is that that means you get to see all the animations of your person, of the person you're playing, and everything else, like in much more great detail in front of you, rather than as you as being first person. So the animations of you when you're running around and skidding on your knees and running through like a swamp are really exaggerated, and they're great, and they were constantly making us laugh, weren't they, David, throughout the whole stream, really.
The animation in this game is so good. As you say, the run animation, the stepping into swamp animation. Even when you pull up your scanner, he does that thing where he puts his two hands up to the sky and then to his temple, like in two motions. It's just
it feels like a cartoon. It's really exaggerated. Look, it's just great, and it's
joke
funny
for you in there, James, because I know you won't play this. There's when in games where you go up to a door and you got to open it by pressing the hand scanner.
Yeah,
you do that in this, and you put the palm on it, and then you split the middle fingers together to open the thing. That was pretty cool. So it's full of tons of like good gags, visual gags, and great moments. But overall, I came away from it being so massively disappointed, and that has to do with the fact that I think the overriding feeling, Matt, and I don't know if you felt the same, was that it doesn't feel ready. It doesn't feel finished. So,
I mean, the opening 2.5 hours of us just felt like it felt a bit all over the place in terms of like, it didn't feel fully complete. It just felt like there was almost mechanics or like bits of level where we're just waiting to see more things. It's like there was tons of enemies constantly attacking us, and it was doing our heads in basically. But from what I've read on like role markers, people are saying actually once you get for the initial time period and you get a bit more powerful, it goes from like being annoying when you're having these enemies constantly attacking you and you feel like you're just constantly trying to run away to avoid getting killed, to then being like an overpowered kind of like badass ninja, and it feels like a different game. So we were just being overwhelmed, and it stopped. It just kind of got in the way of the fun of exploring and navigating the environment.
But there is still stuff like it runs at 30 frames per second, and it feels like that. It's very noticeably.
No frame
There's
rate
no 60 frames mode, so it feels like actually if you leave it like 6 months, I guarantee this will have 60 frames.
Even on the Pro, it's still 30 frames.
I was going to say James is like, oh well, when I play it on my Pro, it's going to.
Yeah.
No, it will still be. There's also. Just guidance through the first couple of hours was really frustrating. Like you get a loose, like for example, there's an objective where you need to. It's teaching you how to, instead of kill some of the animals on this planet, you stun them and then capture them basically and send them back to your mothership thing. And one of them is that you had to do that to a beetle. But the problem was it was so easy to kill that beetle accidentally that we were killing them, and it got to the point where it was like, well, where are all the beetles now? Well, I guess we've killed them all. So it's
there's only one left now, isn't there?
Yeah, okay. We made the joke as well, James. We made we made a joke about Paul McCartney, and it was sort of that. Like the guidance wasn't there for the opening hour, and that just led to so much frustration. It was like, what are we doing? Like, what are we actually doing here? What else can I say about it? But I do think as good as the original did. Like the original, one of the things that really broke me into the original Journey to the Savage Planet was how fucking amazing it looked at the time. And because this seems to be rushed out or kicked out before it was fully finished, you don't get that feeling at all from this. Like, at no point did I think this game looks good, other than the animation. Like, I was like, this looks, if anything, worse than the last game. And I'd be interested to go back and look at it.
I still think it's like incredibly vibrant in terms of all the various colours of the floor.
It's got lots of colours.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't expecting ray trace and reflection and stuff. It looks fine. It's like, but I guess to compare the two,
go back and look at the last game and just see what the difference is. Like it looks the last game looked way better. It's crazy. I don't know.
I think we were enjoying it much more towards the end. Do you know what I think? Like, I think once we got in the flow of things and we understood, and also once we got past that initial forest where we were just getting killed left, right, and centre by annoying little creatures which were annoying to shoot, I think we were like we understand the flow of the game and the rhythm, and it felt a bit better then, because then it's less about concentrating and just turn your brain off and mow things down and go across the map to the various objectives. I think actually it might get better if we play a bit longer, but that initial hour and a half was just really, really frustrating.
Yeah, it was. And it tries to do the similar sort of thing of, it's sort of part crafting, part exploration, part nudging you towards the item you need to progress. But I just don't think it does it as well as the last game. And I think when you've got a game that was pretty niche anyway and pretty cult, I can't imagine many people played Journey to the Savage Planet. You really want the second one to take a huge leap forward, and this does not do that. And that's what frustrates me the most. If anything, I think it's not as good as the first game. And that is not acceptable, in my opinion, for a game series that is so niche anyway. I don't know many people that have played the first game, and I really liked it.
It's a shame that this isn't better, because I know it's been through a bit of a journey, because the developers got bought by Google, didn't they? So
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
And then obviously Stadia fell apart, so they got let go, but they managed to hold on to the rights to this and the work they'd done on it so far, which obviously was fantastic news. So it's just a shame that it hasn't come out a bit stronger. But
Yeah.
But I mean, although it's frustrating, I feel like it was getting better as we were unlocking things like the like grapple hooks and this and that. And I think the more then we upgrade and it's much easier to traverse the environment, it'll probably change. But yeah, it was just a bit of a frustrating opening 90 minutes. But I'll be up for playing more, because I think the second Planet almost might get good. But
I'm up for. But I just enjoyed playing a game with you, Matt, because
it was
you've
fun.
been avoiding me. And
Yeah, you caught me.
It sucks. Well, last night I sent you an invite to play some more of it, and you just ignored it.
Yeah, I was busy then.
I thought, he'll text me in a minute to let me know why he's.
I was I was
Didn't-
entertaining last night, David, so wasn't really gonna.
yeah.
No, you weren't. You were playing something really weird.
Yeah, I was playing Killer Instinct.
You were playing Killer Instinct. Yeah.
Look, David, my methods are
Tried and tested on
yeah.
that.
Let's move on.
Why were you playing Killer Instinct?
Because the
It's the
person
warm up.
the person was wanted to play Killer Instinct. Let's move on.
Man of the night.
Yeah, I did see the invite come through, and I probably should have messaged. And I was like, oh yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't.
It's all right. We'll just quiz you about this again after the show.
on the bonus show.
Anyway, yeah, Killer Instinct, whatever the Killer Instinct is, it's stupid. Oh, that's not in my list of games.
I don't
played.
like this
Which
new Matt.
version was it, Matt? Was it?
It's whatever it was on Xbox.
Okay.
Killer Instinct Gold, I don't know.
I don't like this guy. I really don't like new
What?
Matt.
I reckon
that?
Matt
What's
spent
happened?
several hours going, no, look, there's a special code that makes Orchid take her top off. No, I've got it wrong.
Orchid was one of the players.
At no point did I think, soon enough Matt will be entertaining by putting Killer Instinct on.
Neither did
And
I, David, honestly.
We'll want to move on.
Neither did I.
Who's your main, Matt? In that?
No, I've never played it before, and I can't remember who I chose. But
I used to know ultra combos for Saberwolf and maybe
I should have got you round, Sean.
Yeah.
Could
I've
help
got I know this really cool guy who
Could help with what,
show us how
Matt?
it's fucking
the
done.
game.
Okay. Go. Show you how it's fucking done. Right, okay. You've been playing a game called Skin Deep, Matt. Let's go there.
Yeah, this is a new game from Blendo
Tattoos,
Games.
is it?
No, it's not actually, but if only there was. I mean, it must be like a tattoo simulator game, right? That would be great.
Oh, that would be good.
It would be really
Can
good.
No, yeah,
No,
right. Maybe you could play it with a mouse. It's a little bit like Trombone Champ, where it's supposed to be shit, but like
I was
the
gonna say,
mouse
there'd be
control.
no way to actually do
Yeah,
it.
but I reckon that could be funny itself. If you could do really detailed tattoos with like a paddle,
yeah,
they
they're
would
really
like.
shit tattoos.
Yeah, but if
VR
it's
one
like,
would be hilarious.
yeah. Why isn't someone making that
It's probably
tattoo simulator?
out,
That'd be
mate.
fucking great. Anyway,
Tattoo simulator. Oh my god.
they must
Gotta be a
exist.
thing. I'm gonna look it up.
Because yeah, like you using a mouse to make tattoos you want to be good, but they look shit and embarrassing would be hilarious. Anyway, I'm playing Skin Deep, which is a new Blendo Games game. I haven't played a previous Blendo Games game. So 30 Flights of Loving
Loving, yep.
is one.
Are you playing this on PC, Matt?
I am, because James, during me and James's Friday night stream of Split Fiction, I think we're talking about games coming out, and I was like, I want to play that. I really want to play that Skin Deep. But I was PC only, and I just forgot I had a PC. And you're like,
I mean-
well, you could play on your PC, Matt. I was like,
Also,
oh my
looking at
God.
the screenshots, it looks like you need a pretty meaty machine to be
Yeah,
able to
look,
play
this isn't graphically intensive, but it's not about us. About systems, James. Yeah, so I bought and played the game on my PC, so that was exciting. I genuinely did forget when James was like, you can just play it on the PC you've got. I was like, oh yeah, I'm still so kind of used to like, your PC shit is just for the podcast. Anyway, this is an immersive sim where you are, I don't know all exact details, but you're a woman who is, I think it's an insurance assistant,
policy, aren't you?
insurance policy assistant, and basically you are defrosted and sent onto various kind of ships to rescue people, and they're all cats you have to rescue basically. And to do that, these cats are locked up in cages, and essentially you're in these. I thought before playing the game it would be like one massive, humongous like spaceship, and actually it's much smaller, kind of essentially puzzle environments, which might have. I mean, obviously they go quite simple and go. I think the one level I played now is like 7, 8, or 10 rooms that interlink, but essentially you're in like smallish areas where, you might have like 1, 2, or 3 cats to break out of their cages, basically. But to do that, you've got to get the key card. To get the key card, you might have to solve a puzzle. There are also these kind of enemies dotted around the map, and there's multiple different ways to kind of get rid of them. You can find guns, I think, later in the game, whereby you use that and it'll be incredibly noisy. But right now, you can use things like pepper, and you can throw pepper at them, and that'll knock them out. And then you go over there, and you can attack them. These enemies don't die, so the way to kill them forever is that once you've kind of knocked them out and then wrestled them to the ground, you can basically pop their head off. They've got this things like a skull saver. It's like a technology. But you go there, you press E, you pop their head off, and then you've got to take their head and their helmet and get it either out of like the airlock into space, or like into a chute, and that's kind of the only way to take them out permanently, really. But this game has like tons of puzzles all over the shop. So there are vents to go everywhere, and in the levels I'm on now, I think I'm on level 7 or 8. Even to get the vents open, there were multiple different puzzles to open them, like whereas the earlier one said just open. So there's tons of different systems happening at once. And there's like puzzles within puzzles. I mean, I'm kind of seeing all this through like a blueprint.
There are puzzles in this, Matt. Do you think?
No, I don't think. I think it's just hardcore combat. But yeah, like it's a nice kind of systems-based game along with the puzzle element, and I think it's interesting. Again, Sean, I spoke to you earlier. Is this like build on things that they've done in their previous games, or is it like a whole? No, is that okay?
Different. So I mean, it's been a long time since I played any of that. Well, it's been a long time since they put anything out, but so I played Flotilla by Blendo Games, which is like a sort of quite a minimal sort of space strategy game. That was really good fun. And then like 30 Flights of Loving was very much like not a walking sim, but like a narrative thing where you were kind of just running around, like running through environments doing stuff. So this is quite a departure. I've played a bit of this, but not enough to put it on my list yet. I'm obsessed with Expedition 33, which I'll get onto in a bit. But I'm really excited to play more of this.
Yeah,
because it is just really fun how like you can breathe in space, right? So
yeah, because your character has a third lung, so there's no worry about that.
Works, to be honest.
And actually, like on the level played earlier tonight, there's a bit you have to go out. I mean, you can maybe do it in early levels. I just didn't bother, but you can go out of the airlock and into space, and it felt very much like going outside your spaceship in Outer Wilds, which I was a big
really
fan
weird.
of.
Like, it's totally viable to just smash a window and just be like, right, I'm just going to fly around outside the station. And
because you can obviously try and get key cards and try and use events to go from room to room, or there's like yellow keys, blue keys for certain types of doors. But you can also just go at the airlock and go around the ship and go into like another area completely. I had to like go up, and there's like a whole other area of the ship which I had to find a light bulb for, and that opened something else. And it's really, really interesting. Like you only have like a limited number of items you can carry. I think it's like 5 or 6, and each of them might have like a number of different types of uses. There's a pepper used for knocking people out. There's soap, which if you drop that or put it in like a laundrette, and there's a laundrette on one level, you can use that, and like the guards will slip over and knock themselves out, and you can attack them. There's mugs you can just like throw to make guards look another way while you open lockers to grab things. There's like radios. There are tons of different items. I think all of them can be used like as dual uses, both as a weapon or a distraction method.
I love that. You're an unarmed stealth operative, and obviously as a player of video games, you're like, okay, there's going to be some neck snapping going on, but no, you. all you can do is jump on people's backs and make them run into things and like smash their head on a hand dryer or something.
Yeah.
It's just so stupid.
Yeah. So you're basically kind of like just jockeying these people to various like preordained kind of points where you can do some real damage. Like each of the enemies have a little health bar, so you kind of like grab onto them, you knock them out, you grab on their back, you're like trying to run around the room to get them to hit into certain things. I love the style as well. It's both. It's 3D, but it feels quite lo-fi. It's quite stylized in terms of exaggerated faces and bodies and like the environment in general. And
Good voice acting as well, from what I've heard so far. Like for visually quite a low budget, well, like it literally runs on the Quake 3 engine. I was quite surprised that there's like how much voice acting there is in it.
Yeah, there's lots actually. I mean, it's quite funny. I mean, story-wise, there is a story, but there isn't. It's not doing much for me too much. But I'm only like 4 hours in or so. I mean, I was 4 hours in, and then I hit like the opening credits. And at that point, I was like, "Is this the end credits?"
I love that shit.
I was like, "Is this the end credits?" Because it's almost like a Bond theme-esque song,
Right.
like the main. Because earlier on, as you go to the various levels, it might start with you humming it. It says like hums the Skin Deep theme, and I was like, I haven't really heard the Skin Deep theme. And then after like 4 or 5 levels, whatever it is, and then the theme cut, the credits start, and then like this, it's got what looks like almost like a Bond-esque intro with things coming down from the sky, and the song is really really good. So it knows itself, which is excellent.
That always kills. I had the same with Expedition 33. Where I had this problem where I sat down to start the game, and then something would happen, so I'd stop, and then I had to turn the Xbox off and go and deal with stuff. And I sat down, right, I'm going to play this now. Turn it back on, start it up, and then something else happened, and I went away. And it was about 3 play sessions before I got to the the screen card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, oh man, that's just highlights to me that I should have done this in one hit. And I didn't manage to do it. But yeah, there's nothing better than a really delayed title screen in a video game.
But yeah, I mean, I do like immersive sims, and every time over the years as I play more, I just should have played Dishonored because I never played those games. But this is quite a small, immersive sim, which I really appreciate. It's not, the guards remember things, and if you put them on alert, you have to like run away or attack them, and there's other things that can try and catch you and all sorts of stuff. But I'm enjoying it as like a kind of a much smaller, cut down immersive sim, and I also like the fact that there's like there are levels. You're not in one giant open world environment or open spaceship environment. Like there are like the main objectives are to rescue these cats. Once you get the cats after getting the key cards, you then have to like get them out of space and then like drop them in this pod and they fly off. But there are also kind of loads of these sub objectives, and I'm making sure I'm doing every one of them because they're quite fun. They're forcing you to look at things a little bit differently or solve wider puzzles, and even they're really good, really really good. So I'm loving it so far. I'm excited to see more.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'll definitely get more play for next week.
Just on Dishonored, one, are they available on the current gen consoles?
Yep, they're all on Game Pass.
Do you reckon they'll hold up? Like,
yes.
So there's 2, right? I mean, is the first one better than the second one? What's the general consensus?
There's also a short, standalone expansion for the second one, I think, which you could probably just try that and see what you think.
Would the story make any sense? I haven't played Death of the Outside, but I gather it's meant to be amazing. That was a question for you, James.
Yeah.
I mean, James, he asked you a question.
No, I know. I was just.
Pondering.
I know. I was just thinking about it, and it's like I don't know because I've not played it yet, and but I've heard that it. I thought it was more of not a standalone, completely standalone, but as in you could just play that.
Yeah.
What was it called? Sorry.
Death of the Outsider.
Death of the Outsider. Yeah.
Death of the Outsider. Okay.
Because would you call Deathloop a immersive sim?
Yes. Not as much as your Dishonored and Prey, for example.
See, I do. I remember you, Matt, like being into Prey. Like you played a bit.
The most recent one. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Like again, like the vibes were fantastic. So I probably should try Dishonored.
Think about it. Dishonored had DLC as well, didn't it?
Probably.
Didn't that have the one? There was. I remember distinctly there being a level with a whale hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah,
someone's going to back me up.
Are you thinking about a natural history museum?
I might be thinking about the Natural History
Always
Museum.
getting
Yeah.
those mixed up.
Yeah.
I
Going
would
around the
start
Natural
with
History Museum, stabbing people and jumping from ledges.
I would start with the first one actually, because the second one does lead on from that, and
Yeah.
Okay.
also I preferred the first one to the second one. I was one of those weirdos.
The first one is probably better, I think, and it also, I mean, I like those
Apart
games.
from
'cause
the
I like-
ending, which sucked.
I was
So
going to
much.
say, don't let the game make you feel bad for killing people, but also you will get the worst ending.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I
yeah.
went for because the rats was so much fun. Like,
Also, I remember how much you hated Dishonored. So
oh,
don't try and
hated it.
change.
Absolutely hated it. Yeah.
I'll never forget that. I will never forget that.
But
Because
you weren't a
we
fan
went-
then, James?
No,
it's 'cause
what
we
happened?
went. We saw a reveal of it, and like we came out of the reveal, and like they were all really excited, and I was like, "Yeah, it looks all right."
We
It's-
went to EGX. I think you were there, Sean.
But was that? I guess that was a year I missed out.
Yeah,
There was one,
it was,
yeah.
we went to see it, but for Joypod, and we went into the theater and they showed a game demo. There was someone on stage playing it and saying you could do all this stuff. And one of the things they did was they shot a gun, froze time. The bullet was frozen in space. They possessed someone while time was frozen. That was it. No, that was it. That was it. Someone shot a gun at the character, the playable character. They
Yes, I
froze
remember.
time. The bullet suspended in time. They then possessed the person that shot the bullet, walked him round in front of the bullet, and unfroze time, and the bullet killed the person. And we would go, "Whoa, this is amazing!" And James went, "It's been done."
I didn't
What?
say it's been done. I was just like, "It's all right."
No,
It
you
hasn't been
didn't.
done,
You
but
said
they
it's been
shouldn't do it.
done. You said
I
it's
don't
been
think
done.
I don't remember saying it's been.
No,
mind you,
you
this
said
was
it's been-
about 20 years ago. So
Exactly. Oh, and you know what my memory is like? We were walking out, and you went. I said, "What about the bit where you fired the bullet and then possessed it?" Yeah, it's been done. And I went, "In what?" You went, "Oh, don't ask me that now. You know I'm not looking into
I
this
don't remember
situation."
this. It's but yeah, I just
I
remember
remember it
not being
very
massively
vividly.
impressed like when we saw
Yeah.
it. But it was a good game.
Yeah, Dishonored
Was
1 was
a
out
very
in
good
June. Well, it came out 2012.
God damn.
I should
Yeah,
also
the-
point out, Matt, as well, that I am the oddity when it comes to Dishonored 2. People love that game, and it just didn't click with me.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm the outlier.
Yeah,
on that
I don't know
one,
when,
so
but
don't
like
listen to me.
I do like these kinds of games, and every time I talk about them or they get mentioned, like Dishonored also gets mentioned, so I should just give it a go.
I believe they're all on Game Pass and have the old 60 FPS.
Oh, nice.
upgrade.
I mean,
Yes.
it's Bethesda. You'd think, yeah,
Yeah,
nice,
yeah.
decent. I might give it a go at one point. But no, yeah, Skin Deep, really enjoying it, and I'm happy I got to play it on my PC. I'm just playing mouse and keyboard. There is controller controls, and maybe I should just
Yeah,
do that
I mean,
as
I've
well.
only,
But
I've only played it on the deck so far, so.
On the
yeah, nice.
deck.
On the deck.
Hey man, I
baby.
played on the deck.
Decent on
baby.
deck.
Hit the deck.
Midnight
my
Walk.
shorts.
I can't believe you came over to my house and I didn't show you the portal, Sean.
You did.
I can't.
Yeah,
Did I?
you handed it to him.
Yeah.
I was very drunk.
You said, "Look at that."
But did, I
Feel-
not
feel
turn
the
it on?
weight.
Did you not turn it on and play a game on it?
Yeah. I
He
just
did.
Had a look around on God of War.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
I
you like
don't
look at it. Look at
remember
this.
that.
Get my
I mean, you
magnifying
were
glass
being
out,
sick
go,
at the
no,
time.
there is compression artifacts. Look.
No, that's it. I do remember it because you played it and you sounded deflated.
Sean's
You
like,
went-
shit, screen shit.
Oh yeah, no, this is really good,
I,
isn't it?
I knew it was going to be bad. I wasn't deflated. I was like, yeah, this is,
I know,
this is
I know.
loads better than the next
I think
one.
Sean's
No, I
like,
don't
I think
remember
I prefer Game Sir actually. So,
I'm more a PC guy anyway. So.
yeah.
Oh, right,
Bother
okay. Midnight Walk, James. You've been playing a game called the Midnight Walk.
I have. This was we saw this at one of those like PlayStation showcases, I think, and I expressed that I thought it looked interesting, and I was sent a code for this, which was nice. And
Spooky, were you?
yeah,
You didn't disclose that.
I just did. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, for tax purposes, he disclosed it right now.
It is spooky though, isn't it? I wouldn't
Spooky.
have played it. Don't get me wrong. Spooky.
No, and it's funny because it's a PSVR 2 game. Like you can play it on that, but you can also play it just on regular TV as well. You don't have to play it in that way. And
Well,
I
so would you say it's a PSVR game you can play flat screen, or it's a flat screen game you can play in VR?
I would say it's probably a flat screen game you could play in VR,
Yeah,
honestly. Because I started playing it in PSVR and then I stopped playing it in PSVR. And not because I wasn't like
Scared.
digging it.
Too
It's just
I wasn't scared. I didn't
Good.
cry. I didn't shit myself.
Not bothered in a way. Just,
Because it's
it
not-
kind of ruined it. Being
it's
done.
not
Actually bored.
particularly scary. Like honestly, it's
Certainly.
like it's the usual thing of like
Yeah,
there's a
but
couple of
you've
jump
got
scares and
you fuck off, Jack. It's not particularly scary. It's because you're hard as nails.
Yeah, anyone
No,
listening
it's
to
just.
this, don't listen to him.
Look, I've
Do you know
played-
what, Sean? I watched them play Split Fiction, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm playing with Charlie every weekend. So I got to a bit that they've just done, and I was like, and as I was playing it, there's a bit with a huge octopus that's jumping out at you and doing all sorts of stuff. And I went, holy shit, I forgot about that. James is like petrified about octopus, like, and so I want to watch his reaction because this is about as bad as it gets for him. There's tentacles everywhere. It jumps out at you. It crawls up the wall. The lot, right? I watched it. James didn't even flinch and went, did I tell you, Matt, I'm really scared of octopus.
Yeah, I hate
look,
these.
look, I am dead
And then just
inside.
no reaction for the rest
I
of the
probably won't sleep tonight, but let's move on.
Big Balls Farley.
I'm dead inside. I don't feel anything when I play horror games at all. I'm sorry, I just don't. It's like it's quite rare to get
He's
like
a double R bastard.
The best I had with that was with Until Dawn.
Yeah.
When there was like jump scares in that, and it made me jump like quite
Yeah,
a few
that
times.
was great.
And that was cool. I enjoyed that.
And the alien one.
Oh yeah, the alien one. The alien
that
one
was
was
quite
genuinely
funny.
great.
Yeah.
That was very good.
But this
But
one's not scary. I'm watching clips of it and it looks horrific. Go on.
It's-
It
I
does
don't
look
think it's
horrific.
particularly scary because the whole thing. So the whole thing is played from first person, and it's sort of like everything like looks like it's sort of made out of clay, like and sort of that's the kind of the design, and it's also this sort of like partially kind of stop motion visuals, but not really. Like it's not like South of Midnight sort of level of that. It's like a bit sort of
South
stop
of
motion.
Midnight's not that anyway. I wouldn't worry about it. Go on.
Is it not? Okay.
No.
But I said that to you when I was on yours. That I was just a bit stop motiony, and you're like, oh, just there's a couple of frames missing, but it's not really like that. I thought it was that as well, James. That South of
Yeah.
Midnight, particularly because aren't the bosses a bit stop motiony?
It was.
Mate,
South of
honestly,
Midnight.
play it. It's not that. There are elements where it's trying to do stop animation, but when you look
Or
at it, when you're
claymation,
playing the
maybe, yeah.
game, it's better. Yeah, no, well, claymation's different, isn't it? But yeah, no, stop motion is not. I think they're going for that at times in South of Midnight, but it's not consistent enough for it to be a thing. I think this looks a little bit more like it's going for it and trying to capture that style.
And it's pretty good because it's very coherent, like throughout everything sort of moves in that sort of style, which is pretty cool. And it's like you basically, I'm not entirely sure where you're supposed to be in this game when you sort of wake up, but you wake up like sort of pushing out of what appears to be some sort of like coffin or whatever. You sort of walk forward, and then this creature is like he's like take these eyes. And then you like take the eyes and you put them in your sockets or whatever, and then another one appears and it's like take these ears and you like put these on, and then you
Just
walk
normal,
ahead.
non-scary stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Take this
it's-
ball bag, etc.
you start walking around the environment in first person, and it's basically it seems to be mostly puzzles. Like you're kind of working out like quite simple puzzles initially anyway to like unlock doors to get through to like the next area and stuff like that. And the whole point is that you seem to be on a journey which is called the Midnight Walk, and the whole point is that you're supposed to get to the top of this mountain and then something is probably going to happen. I'm only about an hour and a half to 2 hours into this, so I'm still not entirely sure what is going on.
How long is it?
story-wise. I think it's only about 4 to 5 hours. It's not like a massive long game. There's 6 or 7 chapters I looked up because I wasn't sure whereabouts I was in it. And it's so then as you sort of progress through, you then come across this thing called Pot Boy, which is this sort of like creature which
That's what we
has
call Matt Murray these days. Go on.
and stuff is quite simple so far. It's just environmental puzzles that you have to like figure out how to.
Oh, well, hang on. Don't you hate environmental puzzles?
No, I like environmental puzzles. I just don't
yeah, okay.
like those ones which are like, I don't know. I can't, look, don't put me on the spot about puzzles. I fucking hate puzzles. But these are spatial puzzles, let's say, which I
Okay.
enjoy. This is like more enjoyable. But yeah, as I said, I'm not really very far in. I've only played a couple of hours, but it's enjoyable so far. It looks very pretty and it seems good.
Okay, but that's not the main game you've been playing this week, is it, James?
No, I also finished Expedition 33, which was a bit annoying because I got right through to the end, and then the game kept crashing, which was really irritating. I was on like the final sort of encounters, and it just kept crashing. I heard that this is a problem with the Series S, with like since the most recent patch, and hopefully that will get fixed, and then it won't happen anymore. But I solved it by using Xbox Play Anywhere, and I did the cloud gaming thing, and I just streamed
service.
it. Yeah. And
So
was
it
fine.
wasn't a game issue; it was a hardware issue.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. It wasn't working. But yeah, it's strange. But yeah, but I finished it, and I really
Any good?
yeah, it is a very good game, and
Does it stick the landing? Does
it
fight like-
absolutely does, and that was the thing that I'm most excited about with this, because I played through this mostly just playing the main story. I didn't really engage very much with like side quests and stuff like that. But by the end, I felt very satisfied with where the game went, and as particularly towards the end, there's decisions and stuff you have to make which felt really sort of natural and like well put together, and you know, in the sense that it felt like it had been building to this, and I was really happy with the choices it gave me. Of like, you know, I didn't feel like, you know, like sometimes when you have like binary choices in games, you're just like, well, I don't really want to do either of these, you know. Whereas with this one, I was like, this is absolutely spot on for the tone of this game, and I'm really happy with that. So that was great, and I never at any point got bored with the combat either. It was fantastic, like just the customization and also how sort of streamlined. But then this was the main thing that I enjoyed the most about this game. I mean, like Ben's saying in the chat here, like, how long was your playtime? I played it for about 25 hours, I think, which I know is short. Like that's like not a very, like, I know other people are like, oh, I played it for 500 hours and I'm still on chapter 2 and all this kind of stuff, but I didn't want to do that. I just enjoyed.
Interesting choice of voice there for that character.
James thinks poorly of people who like this game more than
Who enjoy the game.
Yeah, who want to get value out of their game? Weird, isn't it?
But no, this is what I really liked about this game, was the fact that you can just play it kind of how you want, which I thought was great. I mean, I played it on story mode, obviously, because I didn't want to be bothered with getting really irritated with the combat system. But by playing it through that way, one of my main bugbears always with like JRPG style games has always been like the grind, and the fact that often you end up having to grind to, like, you know, get to the right levels. Whereas with this, didn't have to do that. Managed to see through the entire story without having to do any grinding. There was a couple of encounters like towards the end that I had to do once or twice, but they weren't like insurmountable. You know, it wasn't like completely ridiculous. But it was great. It's a really well executed story. The only problem I got with this game is the soundtrack, which I fucking hated. And
that is insane to me, to say that you hated it.
No, I hated it, Sean. I absolutely hated it. And it was the fact that it felt all the time like it was just dialed up to 11. Like, and so
it is very intense and arguably a bit too much at times.
But that's the problem. I just found that the problem with it was that, like, those sorts of like orchestral moments, which build up to like a major moment, that can be really powerful in games and can be brilliant. But when it's just pretty much constantly going on in the background, it just gets irritating. And,
so it's just too intense. It's for too long, rather than being like peaks and troughs. It's just like it's at 11 throughout the whole way.
Yeah, it ceases to be like peaks and troughs. It's just irritating. It's like in the background.
It's not dynamic enough, is it?
No.
It's like, I think it's, considering how long it is, like how long the soundtrack is.
Yeah.
I think it's like, the level of quality, like, it's kind of incredible how consistent it is. That said, there are some bits I didn't really care for, and as you say. Yeah, there are certain sections of the game where it's like every fight you get into is like and you're like, fuck, all right, Jesus. Like, it is,
but that stuff I didn't mind.
There's sections when you're just walking around and it's doing that all the time as well.
That stuff I really didn't mind. It was I'm going to play it.
Please
there's
do
a
play
bit where you're walking around and it's doing this while you're walking around.
And it does this the whole game.
Beautiful, isn't it? It's atmospheric. That doesn't offend me at all. I like that.
Me at all,
Yeah, but if you're
For
hearing
me,
that
it
for
sounds like my
25
little
hours,
sister in her bedroom making shit up as she's bashing away at a
Oh,
fucking
wow,
keyboard.
harsh
But it's
on your.
like that.
on-
No,
for
she's
25
not.
hours.
She went on and had a very good career in music. To be
Okay,
fair,
good, okay.
to be fair, but honestly, I was like, I was walking around the fucking environment, and I've got. Don't be afraid. I was like, I can't handle this shit. I can't handle
we
it.
said this before the show, so I do prefer it when the lyrics are in French.
Yeah, sure.
See, also, I mean, some of the music when it's like piano pieces, they were really nice. It was really good. But it's when the singing kicks in, which it does all the time.
You see, I don't mind a lot of the singing. I think it's really well done.
No, I don't like it.
I couldn't disagree with you more. I could not.
I've played another 30 hours.
Yeah, no, but that doesn't mean that I've listened to that same piece of music and you went, I didn't mind that.
Yeah, but like you playing that then, I couldn't tell you when that was in the game. I don't really remember it. Like that.
It's
really
quite
stuck
early
out
on,
to
I
me,
think.
so.
Yeah,
Could
it's
have been
quite
anywhere.
early.
It's,
I just. But like I did point out that some of the lyric stuff in South of Midnight's the same. It's not that style. It's just when everything is that on the nose, it makes me fucking cringe. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but my
yeah. No, I
back
know
gets
what you mean.
up, and that's like one of my favourite games, Last of Us. If I ever was to leave you, I'd surely. If I ever was to lose you, I'd surely lose myself. And I know it's a Pearl Jam song, and stop getting involved. But the fact that it was used as Joel singing it to fucking Ellie, oh my god, it made me fucking. Honestly, my toes nearly snapped within my shoe because they were curling so hard. Yeah.
But was that not the point, David?
It didn't work for me.
Was that not the point? Joel being a cringy dad trying to connect with his daughter /
No,
daughter.
it wasn't the point. No, and if it was poorly judged. If they thought, hey, what we're going to do is really make Joel look pathetic here and make you want to switch the fucking PlayStation off.
I mean, it did kind of work. Like, he was desperately trying to connect with Ellie. And Jesus Christ, mate.
Off, Matt. I know you look. Oh, are you a fan of that series? I don't know. I don't think you
Certainly
said.
up there, yeah.
Fucking.
I'm sorry to break the flow. Matt, you all right?
Yeah,
I've got a nosebleed.
Do you want to explain what's happened? Because he's texted me what's going on.
I don't know if I've ever had nosebleed in my life, but yeah, I've certainly got one now. It's fine.
There
I'll
was a
live.
certain joke that I said that made his nose bleed.
Yeah, I don't quite know what's happened there. So yeah, carry on. It's fine. Just act normal.
So I've nearly finished. Clair, Obscur Expedition 33.
500 hours.
Do you know? I don't know how many hours I've spent on it. I'm definitely doing more side stuff, but I'm in this uneasy point now where ready for it to be over, but I am still enjoying it. I don't really know what to do. However, as James says, you have the choice, and it's really, really well done. I think you basically. The game's split into 3 acts, and the third act is basically like, well, there's the final boss, but also the whole world is open to you now, so it's kind of up to you how you want to play it. So I'm going around doing some extra stuff, and I am having a nice time, but it's really nice knowing that, like, at any point I could just be like, yeah, do you know what, let's just fucking get this done. So
yeah, but you're doing the side stuff because you're enjoying it, and I guess also it's making you stronger and better to make the final boss easier as well.
But then also my only sort of complaint. Well, actually, I've got 2 main complaints about this game. One is, yes, now that the whole world's open to me, that's great, and I can do the optional stuff. But some of it is, a bit harder. Some of it is currently fucking impossible, and you are not really told. Like, there are certain areas that have like a red portal around them when you go into it, and it says like danger, but there's very different levels of danger, and you're not really told which is which, right? So I've gone into some areas and been like, okay, that was tough, but I really enjoyed it, and then others where it's like, oh, I'm doing everything I can, and literally I'm taking like pixels off the enemy's health, and it's pointless. So there's that, bit frustrating. But also there's the fact that, like, I love how complex each of the characters are. They all have their own mechanics and stuff and different combat styles, and I think that stuff is really interesting. And it's really fun when you first start the game, kind of piecing together a good move set for each of them, where you've got different abilities, they're all playing off each other. And that's really interesting and fun. But then once you've settled on that first sort of move set, it's really difficult to break out of it. And you sort of, in any RPG, getting new abilities should be really exciting and fun. Whereas in this, I spent a long time just not bothering to unlock anything new because it's like, well, I could get one new move, but then how does that fit into the flow of what I've already built? And I just didn't really want to risk it.
Yeah.
So there came a point, sort of getting into Act 3, I was like, right, I'm really gonna stop now and like redesign all the characters. But then that was like a whole play session in and of itself, right? It was like quite a lot of work. And again, I enjoy that stuff, but I would never sort of, as I'm going through the game, be like, right, cool, that's one new ability. Let's rearrange everything again to accommodate that. I was never going to do that. It had to be reach a certain point in the story and then stop and redesign everything. Which again speaks to how complex it is and how interesting it is to meddle with. But it's so complex that you would not on the fly be like, oh yeah, I'm going to mix things up and get some new abilities. I was just leaving my character points, like just accumulating, just being like, yeah, I don't really want any new abilities, thanks.
Yeah.
But that said, now that I'm at the end game, it is again really fun figuring out like sort of the maximum possible damage combos and stuff. Like it's really, really good fun. And the fucking story as well, Jesus Christ. I mean, I don't know how it ends, but like revelations that take place. I'm
curious to find out what that is. I need to be fully sure that I don't want to play anymore before I ask all the questions.
Well, it's interesting because obviously I chatted to James about it. Obviously, we're not going to spoil anything. James, you seem to imply that you sort of knew where it was going, whereas I think if you gave me 1,000 guesses, I don't think I would have predicted it.
But you see, that's the thing. Like, I found the story a little bit predictable, but then...
Okay.
But because maybe that's because I was focusing on the main story, and it's sort of like I felt a lot of stuff was kind of signposted, but it also felt very, very well done and satisfying, which was the thing. It felt completely earned, like by the end, which I really, really appreciated. This is why I really want to talk to you about the ending of this game. It's killing me.
Oh yeah, I want to get that finished, and then I want to play Skin Deep. But yeah, I'm definitely going to get this done soon as.
Okay. And that's what we've been playing this week. We will get to your questions now. God knows how many we'll do, though, because this one's running long.
If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/dear TCGS. There are a short couple of ones. Jimmy Jones says, all right, lads, could you help settle an argument? What sauce do you put on a chip butty? Tomato ketchup, brown sauce, mayonnaise, or salad cream?
Oh, do you know what? I never did.
I absolutely love chip butties. I mean, fish and chips is probably one of my favourite meals ever. I love a chip butty, and I don't put anything on the chip butty. It's loads of butter, it's chips, that's it.
Yeah, the sweet butter.
Literally, we had fish and chips tonight, and Lou was like, "Oh, can you get some white bread?" I'm like, "Yeah, there's not enough carbs in it, is there already?" I find the bread with fish and chips.
You sound like a joy.
Did you say it in that voice, Sean?
Yeah. I just want to have dinner, for fuck's sake. I've never put sauce or even entertained the idea of putting sauce in chip butty. Like butter and chips and bread is it.
Yeah. You see, normally, so on chips, I will have mayonnaise, which I know people have feelings about. But on
I'm with you on that.
Okay, cool. But on a chip butty, I think it would have to be tomato sauce.
I think it has to be nothing.
Or
no, it has to be nothing. Yeah.
I've never even thought about it, honestly. I just thought, why would I mess with perfection?
If I was forced out of these, it would probably have to be tomato ketchup. But otherwise, nothing.
Yeah, I have them options. But yeah, you don't need it. The butter is the sauce. As Ben literally just said at the same time in the chat. Yeah,
yeah, it's true. Do you know my favourite thing to have on chips is peppercorn sauce.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like when you're having a steak and chips or whatever, you pour the peppercorn on the steak.
Yeah, that is good. That's a good
the rest is for dipping. The rest is for dipping.
Moving on. Numpty Fried Chicken says, I was playing the Halo Master Chief Collection. I played the whole campaign at default settings until a cousin came round to my house and changed my field of view for me. And wow, does that make a huge difference? I put it at 90. What setting do you put your field of view at?
I just tend to not fuck about
I
with
don't
that
care.
shit.
I usually go for 90. It depends though, because I don't think all games do it the same. Because there's some games where I've set it to 90 and they're like, whoa, this looks fucked. So I think.
Yeah, the only game that I really changed the field of view for was Rocket League. because that is insane. Like when you see the default setting for that,
Yeah, and
the
you can
fucking
see so
card
much of the
takes up
pitch,
half the
can't you?
screen,
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need it. But yeah, no, I don't do it with any other game really. D4 baby.
Push Button Joe says, "Hey, the computer game show. Do you reckon you could stomp a Goomba to death? What if it had a gun?"
I mean, I think definitely. I mean, it also has
Not
got
if
the
it had a
arms,
gun.
so even if it had a gun, it can't
Oh yeah,
fire
it just
can
fall
it?
over.
Well, if
Wouldn't
it
it?
had a gun, it couldn't fire it. But also, I'd be worried that it might figure out how to fire it. Therefore, I really need to stomp it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you'd be wildly you'd be underestimating it. If it worked out how to fire a gun, you go into it going, "Haha, you got no arms!" Bang, dead.
And then you'd be like,
Call an
stomped
ambulance.
It, but
I don't know if I could. I mean,
Not for me.
I just googled this and says that they are apparently they are 2 foot 6.5 inches tall. I mean, I wouldn't stamp a dog to death. I don't know if I'm going to be stamping a Goomba to death, honestly.
Yeah,
Those
if it's
aren't
coming at
evil,
you.
Yeah, they're evil as well. They're
Yeah,
bouncers.
they're evil.
They're-
And also, they sort of waddle towards you a little bit, don't they? Slowly.
Yeah.
2
Those
feet.
little
That's
Also, think about
that's a
it.
big old
it-
jump, aren't
Also, think about it. It probably would feel quite satisfying as well, because I imagine they're
If you-
quite soft and squishy.
Yeah, but if you really think about it, James, isn't it? What
Are you
if
killing?
Goombas were just, they're only just, they're not doing anything. They're not
Yeah,
attacking.
you're the
man.
enemy.
Just,
They're living their life, mate.
yeah, they're
you're-
just walking left
What
and
gives you
right,
the right to
man.
stomp on a mushroom,
If
dude?
you really think about it, isn't Mario the bad guy? If you really think about it, James, he's not really
Yeah,
the
he's
bad
killing the
guy.
native.
Is
the
this
native-
Jonathan Blow I'm talking to here?
Yeah, just with the piranha plant.
Okay. The piranha plant.
Do you think you have to land on it with a certain amount of force?
Yeah,
Or
you
is
can't
it
just
that if
graze,
you land on it,
graze it.
dies?
No, I think
It's
you've
not
got to
if
probably
you-
give some
do you reckon
welly.
It's like killing an animal.
It'd be
so
embarrassing if you didn't kill it while
I was
jumping.
going to say,
on
yeah,
it.
you sort of land on it and it's just like injured, and then you're like, oh,
So what the fuck are you
What do I
doing?
do now?
Yeah, it's like if you sit on a gym ball, just a weird, it kind of just pops out from under you. It's like that. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, the Goomba's like 20 feet away now. With a gun.
That's not no problem anymore,
Okay.
then, is it?
We've run out
good.
of wacky takes on that question. haven't
I
we?
wouldn't.
So we keep going, but
Yeah, got 45 minutes, Miss
unfortunately,
bitch. Yeah.
Joshua Garrity has written in. He says, if you were the painter from Expedition 33, but didn't fancy creating a Logan's Run style dystopia, what would you cap at a certain number over which people would cease to exist? Maybe the number of times someone can look at their phone during the movie Sinners, the number of times you leave your seat for no reason during the movie Sinners, or the number of times you talk to your friend next to you during the movie Sinners. The world is your oyster.
I
It
missed
sounds like he
that
was
'cause
quite
I
angry during that screening.
Yeah, I think he's had a bad time.
Sinners
The movie
is
Sinners.
my film of the year so far, though.
good.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah, bloody. I mean, that's tough, isn't it?
What's the limit? Points on your driving license?
Oh,
So over a certain limit, as you've gone gommaged.
In my house, it'd be how many cups you take during the day to make to make drinks.
oh yeah. Okay, that's a good one.
James
Yeah.
wants to
So
erase his
much.
family, everyone.
Yeah, I put up a sign today that's to
Is it investigation in progress?
You put up a sign in your house today.
yeah.
Oh my
you
god! What, does it say?
knobhead?
This place is not a
Say,
hotel or something,
"Listen,
or Dad's
fuckers."
hotel or some.
No, it
What does it
Whenever
say?
I think about something like that, James, I
Yeah.
think about
Losers.
talking to someone at work and them saying, "Oh yeah, my dad used to put up signs in my kitchen because he didn't like what we did in the kitchen." And you go, "Fucking hell, really? Yeah, he put up signs."
Yeah.
You're that guy.
So
Yeah,
what does the
I
sign?
put
No,
it
no,
up
no, no.
Because
no,
fuck
hang
off,
on.
Matt, and let me
No,
Then he
I
did
wanna-
some podcast where he'd like moan about us to his little mates on the internet.
I'm sick of it getting to the end of the day and then finding like 30 fucking cups in the kitchen that I've then got to wash up.
Is this what the sign
I'm
says?
not like you guys with your fucking dishwashers and all that kind
Oh, here
of
we
thing.
go.
I have to do
Don't
it
bring that
manually.
dishwasher chatting. That was a
making
whole
it about
era of
class,
this
isn't he? He's making
podcast.
about. Okay.
Yeah, it is
Okay,
about-
right. So the subject, James, is about using too many cups, not washing up existing cups, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I just want to see if we can guess what the sign says
Okay, yeah.
in a
It's
James
quite
Farley
simple.
style.
Please reuse your cups. That would be my.
It
guess.
doesn't say that, no.
I think it's got to be more anger in it.
Go on.
It says in big letters "stop," and then underneath it says, because I've stuck it on the
Stop.
on the what's it
Stop,
called, on the cupboard where all the
Countertop.
cups and stuff are, and so it says "stop. Can you reuse your cup or / glass?" That's what it says.
Or slash glass.
It's not a compelling message, I'll be honest with you.
Can or slash
Can-
glass.
Okay,
There's no order.
To whom
It's
it
just-
may
it's just
concern.
Like cup
That,
slash
right
glass.
down
You,
or slash glass.
Or slash glass.
Our upstairs toilet doesn't work properly. The button broke on it years
Hold
ago.
on, you've got an upstairs and a downstairs toilet.
Oh yeah, baby.
Fuck you.
Living in the
Fuck
north, mate.
you. I've got a downstairs toilet and it's killing me. It is killing me. Go on.
So in the upstairs toilet in the West Wing, the toilet's broke. Well, it's not broke. So the button doesn't work. But I basically just pulled the cable that attaches to the button. I kind of just yanked that out.
You've hotwired it.
And I've hotwired it. You just pull on the cable. So yeah, and then about a year ago we had guests, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to explain about the toilet. So I just did a sign that just says like, our toilet has an extremely normal flushing mechanism. Just pull on the cable at the right hand side.
Oh, God.
And no one said anything. No one said a word.
Oh, that's the worst,
There's
isn't
all
it?
family that were coming around, and I was like, someone's going to be like,
I like the sign.
toilet. And I'm like, yeah, I'm funny, aren't I? But no,
But didn't
nothing.
they see the sign? Did they see the sign? Did they use that toilet?
They flushed the toilet, so
Okay.
they seem
Going
it's
back
pretty
to
hard
the
miss.
original question, mine's
What was the original question?
Mine's all driving related.
Yeah.
If you don't indicate enough at a roundabout,
Oh,
get
mate.
out of my. That just does my
Preach.
nutting.
Preach.
If you've
I know it does news heading. The amount of time when I'm driving, the amount of times I'll be like indicators.
Yeah, I know. Especially when you're waiting for someone to go and then they turn off and look at you angrily as if
Like you're the idiot.
yeah. Oh. In fact, most
And
of
do
my
you know what?
Chimpanzee
It's just as well that me and you are perfect,
Monkey
Dave,
nose,
isn't
you
it? That's the
yeah. Well, I learned how to drive in Milton Keynes, so roundabouts are very, very important to me. And get in the right lane. That's just get in the right lane. It's fine. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want this to become this is what really grinds my gears podcast. I don't want to go down that road.
Yeah, for me, it'll be about the speed that you're walking down the street. Frankly, you've got to be a certain speed, otherwise, you're gonna have to find another way to navigate around.
ableist, Matt.
Well, no. Any way of navigating.
I was gonna tread around that.
Any
issue,
way
but
of
Sean's
navigating the
gone straight in for
environment,
it.
if it's too slow, there's got to be different. I just can't.
Can you not just
you know,
walk
like-
around them, across the road.
Yeah, but I was like, yeah, I can. Of course, I can.
I
But
think
it kind
you're
of
the
makes it-
wanker here, actually. If
Yeah,
anything.
if anyone is.
Oh, don't think I. Well, no, if you're going Christmas shopping, it's like the crowds are so much. You're like, why? Can you fucking speed up?
Do it
I've got-
online.
That's just an example.
Matt,
Yeah,
you're
slow
not winning
walkers.
this one, mate.
Slow walkers are the worst.
You're not winning this one, matey.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
Should we do one more quick one?
Let's do 20 more.
Yeah, one more quick.
I mean, there's only literally. Okay.
Phil Wall, he says, would you rather have an ice cream
Who?
flavour or a sandwich named after you?
Oh God, great question.
Sandwich,
Easy.
100%.
I love both ice cream and sandwich.
Are you fucking kidding, James?
Oh, sandwich, yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Really?
Why?
Oh, wow, okay.
I don't know. I just like the idea of like
Ice cream?
That's ice cream, isn't it? It's sandwich would be great.
I mean,
but
a
hold on.
sandwich will get more reach.
Yeah.
More people
Right,
have sandwiches than ice cream.
okay. But it's weirder to name the sandwich after. Like, ice cream will have, like, weird names these days.
Yeah.
Mainly because of Ben and Jerry's. You don't go to, like, a Subway and say, I'll have a James Farley, please.
Yeah,
that
but
would
you
be
do
weird.
in some of those like places in like New York and stuff, don't you? They've got
those
loads of
big
those.
boards,
Yeah,
isn't
I'll have
You've
a
been
Big
to New
Jerry's,
Yeah.
for
You've been
example.
to New York.
Yeah.
Have you? Did
Yeah,
you
you
order one of
have.
those big sandwiches with a funny name?
I did have one of those big
a
sandwiches
hoagie.
actually. Yeah, it was very
What,
good.
what did they call it?
I can't remember. It's but it was very good.
Yeah, memorable.
I'll have a Tommy Two Fingers.
Why you order sandwich? The bacon job sandwich.
It was too much sandwich of anything though. It was
No such thing.
Man,
I imagine
Save
it'd
it
be
for
like
later.
Homer Simpson when he had that massive sandwich. I imagine you like that and putting it to bed at night and stuff, James.
You'd start take it home. It's like eat a little bit of it all the time.
So obviously the real answer is ice cream.
Yes, correct.
I don't know what my ice cream would be though.
James would be Farley Fudge. That's what it would be.
That's
I
just
love
what
it.
we've already got fudge flavour. You have to come up with something new, surely.
No, it's Farley Fudge.
Yeah, but
Tastes like James
what's
Tread carefully, David.
It tastes like cheese.
okay?
Turn a tiramisu. There you go.
I hate tiramisu.
I know, that's
No,
why
thank
it'd
you.
be better.
Actually,
Flavour.
one of those big sandwich shops is actually just opened in Leeds. I need to go to it. It's called Alfonso's Bodega Deli.
Have they
Which
paid
is
for that
very
bit
Leeds.
of, product placement?
I don't know them.
Are you wearing one of their t-shirts?
No, no. I've started some part-time shifts. Okay, guys, mine's not. Got to pay for these consoles somehow.
Lied about his new job. He hasn't got a new part-time making signs.
But I've always loved Alfonso's Bodega Deli, and I think you should too.
Could someone clip that and send it to them, please? Right, is that? Are we done? Let's be
I
done,
think
should
we're
we?
probably done, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That sandwich, by the way.
Fucking what a weird episode this week, ladies and gentlemen. What a weird episode. Should we get to socials?
Yes. On Wednesday, Sean, question mark, Sean is going to be streaming
Yes.
City Go Sleeps, a'ka Citizen Sleeper, Spindlejack.
Yeah, so basically, as soon as after, like the morning after we recorded last week's episode, I was like, I can't do Thursday night. Taskmaster's back on, and also my wife now has a job where we can watch it every week. So Thursday.
Oh, yeah, and I just forgot to cut it out of the episode. I don't know.
Just a little Chet Roivas update. We were playing FIFA the other night, and he went, "Oh, I've got to go because the Taskmaster's on." You wouldn't expect that from Chet Roivas.
No, you wouldn't. That's very un-Chet-like.
It's a good
There you go.
telly show. So yeah, Wednesday night I'm going to try and do Citizen Sleeper Spindlejack, which I've printed onto nice coloured card, and then this morning they uploaded a new version of it. So that's good.
Okay. Love that for you.
Upset.
I'll patch, just patch it, Sean, that's fine.
just scribble
So
on the
that's Citizen Sleeper, Spindlejack, Wednesday night at 9 p.m. On Friday at 9 p.m, James and I will be streaming Split Fiction, and we think it's going to be the end. We think this is like the last.
You have got longer than you think, though.
Okay. Well, Capoma's saying so. One main area and the boss. Hopefully 2.5-ish hours. I think we're going to finish Split Fiction on Friday.
I think you'd be closer to 3 hours, I think.
Okay, we'll strap in, James.
You've got to do it, because I think we did the same thing. John and I played it, and we got to a bit where we were like, we've probably got about 45 minutes left. Do you want to stay up? And we stayed up till past our usual bedtime to finish that game, and we do not regret it. I would say do this final run all in one now. Yeah, I think you should do that.
Okay, you up for that, James?
Yeah.
That didn't
say
sound
it again.
convincing.
No, it's just,
Just try and stop.
What?
3 hours is quite a long time.
Well, we normally do 2.5 hours.
That's true. I mean, maybe I'll celebrate with. I've got this bottle of Jägermeister that I need to finish.
And
So
that'll
I could.
keep you really like firing
Yeah.
on all cylinders, won't it?
No,
Well, okay,
no,
so it's
no.
going to be a 7-hour stream
It's-
then.
If I get that and loads of Red Bull, it'll be fine. Yeah.
Okay,
Probably better to
well,
just drink the Red Bull, right?
Why would I want to do that?
Because you don't want to
Exactly.
give yourself irreversible brain damage, James.
It's too late for that.
too late for that, baby. Anyway, that is Friday night at 9. We're going to finish Split Fiction. Me and James get over there, and yeah, Sean are streaming Wednesday night at 9. If you miss
You
them,
growing your hair, James.
No, not intentionally. No.
what does that mean?
I was about to say, you
If you're
should
not
look at this.
cutting it, that feels intentional to me.
No, it's just I haven't got round to doing it for a while, but it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
Long hair
Head of
James.
there. You got locks, mate.
No, it's terrible.
Adonis Farley. Yeah, anyway,
Do
they're
you want to see
both
it
on
round the
Twitch.
back, mate?
Can I finish
Go on
the
then.
fucking socials?
Yeah, you can while James shows us the back of his head. Go
Yeah,
on.
show us the back.
Not going to do that.
So,
No,
yeah,
just been run really, really slowly while I'm doing
just,
this.
can
Like
we
that.
just do
Right,
the
okay,
photos?
fucking hell.
Like
Okay.
red carpet events with the camera spins around in slow motion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what's that called?
It's got
That
it's got a
cam.
special name, hasn't it? I always
Yeah.
forget what it is.
James,
know.
what's that behind you?
Oh, there's someone's asking
There's a
about.
ghost. Oh no, they
Yeah.
wouldn't,
There's
they
an
wouldn't give a shit. if there was
anime
a ghost,
character
would they?
with large. Look
Yeah.
behind you.
No, James is one of those mouse mats. It's like it's
it
got a
doesn't
woman's
work because
cleavage
I
on
can
it.
also see behind me in the webcam, so it doesn't.
No, because it's literally behind you. There's like a blind spot.
Nice.
You
Yeah,
should
it's because
turn
it's a
around.
ghost. It doesn't show up in your camera. But we
Yeah,
can-
famously. Logitech
let's
can't.
move on.
Fucking hell! Right, their streams. If you go to twitch.tv/tcgsco, then you can follow us, and also if you've got Amazon Prime and a Twitch account connected, we get 1 free subscription a month to give to another channel. One will give to our channel because we really appreciate those that do. If you miss the streams live, search the TCGS on YouTube and you can find all the VODs. You can see the tattoo video. You can see all the things we've done. You see this podcast as well, which we record every Monday night. And the website is tcgs.co, where there's links to our beautiful Discord community, our Blue Sky account, Patreon store, where you can get our brand new James Farley Halo t-shirt available right now, tcgs.co/store. or just tcgs.co.
And that's it for this week. Thank you so much for living it. We really appreciate you listening to our pod. There is... Have we got a guest next week? I think it's guest next week, isn't it?
Blake, isn't it?
Yes, Blake Harrison, a.k.a.
Never heard of
Neil
him.
from the In-Betweeners. I'm thinking of... I know he's not listening. Well, he might listen to this. I'm thinking of just introducing him on the show as Neil from the In-Betweeners.
Oh, he'll hate that, wouldn't he?
Exactly.
Get that cleared.
Just
Get that cleared,
referring to
surely.
him as Neil from the In-Betweeners pod. So if I do that next week, listeners, you will know that I haven't bottled it. But if I introduce him as Blake, I have fully bottled it. Thank you so much for living it. We will catch you next week. Apart from Sean, goodbye, everyone.
I just realised I spent all the episode going, oh yeah, I'll play this for next week, I'll play that for next week. No, I won't, because I won't be here.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.